Section 11. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Wang Hao took several jade slips from Wang Yanzhao and handed over the wooden box containing white snow lotus. Exchange of equal value, I understand. Wang Yanzhao laughed angrily. You exchange this snow lotus for my alchemy experience, and you still exchange it for equal value? It seems that in the past few years, you have not only improved your cultivation, but also your face. Oh, each other. After sending Wang Yanzhao away, Wang Hao took a look at the situation of the golden-eyed duck and found that it had fallen asleep. The next time it woke up, it should be a first-order mid-level spiritual beast. Then he continued to practice. He didn't have much interest in going out for a walk. Just touched the bamboo forest to get the seeds. The value of the second-order spiritual bamboo is still very high. 10 days later, the foundation building ceremony was officially held. There are hundreds of wooden tables placed in the bluestone square of the Wang family, with fine wine and delicacies placed on each table. Thousands of immortal cultivators gathered in the bluestone square. Wang Hao, Wang Wenmei and other middle-stage Qi training monks sat in the middle and back, with late-stage Qi training monks in front, and at the front were the foundation building monks and representatives from various schools who came to congratulate them. Many people from the 5 families of King Niafang, the Li family, the Zhao family, the Qing family, and the Lei family came, and they were all led by foundation building monks. The reason why these 5 families are so harmonious is also due to the special location of King Niafang, which is close to the sea on one side. Backed by mountains on 2 sides and surrounded by monsters on 3 sides, it faces attacks from monsters from time to time, as well as monster tides that occur once in 100 years. Moreover, the monster tides on the sea are not at the same time as those on Xuanhuan mountain. Even so, the 5 beasts will be attacked every time. Be prepared with all your strength. There are abundant resources around King Niafang. If they can develop with peace of mind, every family might have a golden elixir monk. However, every time the beast tide causes heavy losses to each family, several foundation building monks will die. In such a difficult situation, even if the 5 major families occasionally get into trouble, they will reduce major issues to trivial matters and put the overall situation first. Rather than saying that the 5 major families are connected by the same spirit, it is better to say that they have to stay together in order to survive. Chapter 19 Fighting Conference. Representatives of various forces came forward one after another to offer congratulatory gifts. Seeing that old Wang received a large number of congratulatory gifts, Wang Hao was extremely envious. No wonder he wanted to hold a foundation building ceremony. The gifts received were probably tens of thousands of spiritual stones, which was equivalent to the output of Wang Hao's farm in a year. This ceremony was presided over by Wang Longyu, another member of the Wang family with a surname of Zhujiang. The Wang family has the following lineage, carrying forward the glorious past. The road is long and continuing the literature, studying the basics and uprightness, and being virtuous and determined. Is the generation. Immortal cultivators usually marry and have children late. The Wang family has inherited it for more than 300 years, and now only the Wu generation is the backbone. The power lies with the writing generation. Most of the writing generation have just grown up and lack experience. The current patriarch is Wang Guang'an, a 200-year-old Guangxi generation. However, it is said that he was seriously injured during the last beast wave and has been recuperating in seclusion and is no longer in charge. After Wang Longyu presided over the gift presentation session, he raised his hands and said loudly, "Thank you all for coming to attend the foundation building ceremony of my Wang family. We have prepared drinks and please enjoy them. There are too many Taoist friends who came to congratulate us. If there is not enough hospitality, please be considerate of this." Fellow Taoist Wang is joking. Who hasn't seen the respectability of the Wang family today? I'd like to propose a toast to you, Li Yaozu said with a smile. To build the foundation of the Li family. Lei Liheng, the foundation builder of the Lei family, said, "Don't mistake the protagonist, fellow Taoist Li. Today is the foundation building ceremony of fellow Taoist Wang Yanzhao. Fellow Taoist Wang, please have a drink." He raised his glass to Wang Yanzhao in the middle of the high platform. Wang Yanzhao smiled when he heard this and raised his glass in response. This scene is no different from the company's annual meeting. Wang Hao sat at the back and enjoyed the fine wine and food with peace of mind. Fellow Taoist Wang, there is no point in just drinking. There are so many immortal cultivators here today, as well as young people from various families. How about holding a fighting meeting to learn from each other? Zhao Gaofang, a foundation-building cultivator of the Zhao family, suddenly suggested. Lei Liheng brightened up after hearing this. I agree, but if it's just a competition, it would be very boring. If there is no reward for the juniors, I'm afraid they won't do their best. Why don't you come up with some luck? Fellow Taoist Wang, your Wang family is the host, what do you think? Wang Longyu smiled slightly and said, since everyone is interested, I will accompany you to the end. Our Wang family will give out 3 bottles of Huanglong pill as rewards for the top 3, 5 golden silk apricots as rewards for the top 5, and the other top 10 will all get soul gathering a bottle of Dan. Fellow Taoist Wang, you are so generous. Our Li family is also joining in the fun and giving out 3 second-level low-grade spiritual talismans to reward the top 3, and the top 10 will each get a first-order high-grade spiritual talisman. As the in-laws of the Wang family, the Li family is also extremely generous. Well, then my Lei family produces 3 high-grade magic weapons, and the top 3 will be rewarded. The Lei family started out as a weapon refiner, and they are quite arrogant. The top-grade magic weapons are worth more than Bailing Stone, which is more than 300 now. My Zhao family will produce 5 altars of first-grade spiritual wine, red blood brew. Then my Qing family will send out 3 wind-chasing horses. After the reward was decided, Wang Yanzhao said with a smile, then go to the martial arts stage of my Wang family. It is spacious and has restrictions, which is perfect for fighting. You go and confirm the contestants from each family, and my Wang family will be responsible for the casual training. The rewards were generous, and applicants were immediately enthusiastic. Lao Wang walked straight towards him. You will join us later. I won't join in the fun, right? To be honest, the spiritual apricots on his farm have been mass-produced, and there is no shortage of training resources, so he has no intention of joining in the fun. Wang Yanzhao's tone could not be refused. You have to participate, and you have to get in the top 10. It's not so easy to get the stewardship of Fengshe. Although my father won it for you, if you don't show enough strength, it's inevitable that someone will not. Convinced, this is for you. If you want to practice with peace of mind in the future, you must use your strength to scare them. Okay, I'll try my best. Wang Hao could only agree. The arena was ready, and no much preparation was needed. Several foundation-building monks discussed some rules and gave the order to start. The participating monks were basically mid to late stage Qi training monks, reaching 121 people, of which 5 major families accounted for 70 people. The Wang family had the advantage of home court, and had the most participants, with 20 people. 2 people in a group, draw lots to fight. The rules were very simple, that is, it was not allowed to use talismans, magic tools, etc. that exceeded the first grade upper grade, and it was not allowed to kill the opponent. The victory was considered to be knocking the opponent off the arena or admitting defeat. The martial arts arena was divided into 4 areas, and 4 games were held at the same time. Wang Hao drew the number 9 lot and was in the 3rd game on the first arena. Wang Hao went to the bottom of the number 1 arena to occupy it. At this time, there were 2 monks on the arena. One of them was very familiar, Wang Wenji, and the other looked like a casual cultivator. There was a foundation-building monk next to him as a referee, and the arena was also set up with a simple formation to prevent the aftermath of the attack from affecting the audience outside the venue. The 2 of them didn't waste any words. After bowing, they moved away and started fighting. Wang Wenji took out a big black iron rod and swung it vigorously, suppressing the casual cultivator so that he could only dodge passively. Wang Wenji is indeed a physical cultivator. Wang Hao suspected that he was a physical cultivator when he first saw him, and now he finally confirmed it. Bang sounded. Wang Hao looked up and saw that the magic weapon in the hands of the casual cultivator had broken into 2 pieces, and he was stunned on the spot. Wang Wenji did not take the opportunity to attack, and smashed the iron rod heavily on the ground. Are you still fighting? Dao, you have a high level of cultivation, I lose. The casual cultivator looked ugly. He lost the arena and the magic weapon was destroyed. It was a big loss. The second match was a young female cultivator in the middle stage of Qi training from the Zhao family against a male cultivator in the late stage of Qi training from the Lei family. The difference in their cultivation was too large, and the female cultivator was stopped in an instant and had to admit defeat. It was Wang Hao's turn. He walked onto the stage. His opponent was also a female cultivator in red. The logo on her clothes showed that she was from the Li family. She was at the 6th level of Qi training, not stronger than Wang Hao. This made Wang Hao feel relieved. He had never fought with anyone before, so he had much less experience. If he went up against a late-stage cultivator, Wang Hao would definitely be eliminated in one round. The two stood still, and the female cultivator stared at Wang Hao and asked, "Are you Wang Hao?" "Oh. Do you know me?" Wang Hao had no information about this female cultivator. "Li Dishi is my aunt, what do you think? If you know what's good for you, admit defeat quickly, otherwise I will make you lose face later." Wang Hao was immediately happy. "Girl, I wonder if you have heard of this saying." "What? You are very beautiful." "Ha, of course. But do you think I will let you go if you say something nice?" The female cultivator looked proud when she heard Wang Hao's praise. "Then don't think too much." "Ha ha ha, it's really interesting." The crowd couldn't help laughing. "You bastard. Stop talking nonsense and start." The two bickered so much that the referee couldn't stand it anymore. "Then I'll start." Wang Hao took out a dozen talismans from his arms. These were the fireball talismans he had accumulated over the past 3 years. Old Wang asked him to enter the top 10. The opponents behind him would become stronger and stronger, so he couldn't consume too much mana at this time. Dozens of fireballs shot out, and the temperature on the ring instantly increased. The red-clothed woman's jade face changed, and she quickly cast a spell to form a water wall in front of her. At the same time, she took out a small shield and protected her body after activating it. If there were only a few fireball talismans, she might be able to defend against them, but there were dozens of them, and each fireball talisman was worth 5 spirit stones. Wang Hao threw out hundreds of them at once. Boom boom boom. A series of explosions sounded, and the woman was directly blown away. The woman fell under the ring, and there was still a raging fire burning around her. The referee on the sidelines immediately cast a spell to put out the fire. Her delicate face was smoked black and red, and her red robe was burnt out of shape, revealing her beauty. Listening to the spectators pointing and talking, the woman was immediately ashamed, glared at Wang Hao fiercely and left quickly. Wang Hao wins. The result was announced. Wang Hao walked off the stage, began to meditate to recover, and observed the situation of other stages. Chapter 20. You are not my opponent. By watching other people fight, Wang Hao gained a lot. In fact, most Qigong cultivators do not have too many means, and their moves are also very ordinary. Many cultivators win by relying on their cultivation to suppress and win quickly. Only a few evenly matched battles took a little longer. Of course, it is also possible that everyone is reserved and will use their trump cards in the next battle. An hour later, the first round of fighting ended, and a total of 61 winners were produced. After drawing lots again, Wang Hao was lucky to draw an empty lot and directly advanced to the top 31. In the third round, Wang Hao drew the number 3, and faced the late-stage cultivator of the Lei family, whose cultivation was 1 level higher than Wang Hao. "You are not my opponent," the Lei family cultivator said arrogantly in a green standard Taoist robe. "How do you know if you don't try?" Wang Hao was speechless. How could these young people compete with each other? "Then I will grant you your wish." The Lei family cultivator seemed to be irritated. He raised his hand and drove 5 flying swords to attack Wang Hao. It was a complete set of magic weapons. Wang Hao slapped 5 earth wall talismans on his body to block in front of him. Uneasy, he activated the wooden shield technique to form a protective shield around himself. The 5 flying swords easily shattered the earth wall, but they were weak and failed to break Wang Hao's protective shield. After understanding the power, Wang Hao felt much more relaxed. That's it. Who gave you the courage to brag? Come and take my blow too. Wang Hao used the same trick again, and played 30 fireball talismans in a row. The Lei family cultivator's face suddenly became ugly. He didn't watch Wang Hao's first round of fighting, and he had a bye in the second round. However, when he went on stage, someone told him about Wang Hao's performance in the first round, but he didn't pay much attention to it. He didn't believe that Wang Hao would waste so many fireball talismans to win a game. Those were all spiritual stones. But reality really slapped him in the face. However, his means were much stronger than that of the Li family female cultivator. He was holding a small green shield in his hand, which was stronger in the wind. It looked powerful and was obviously a first-class defensive magic weapon. Boom boom, there was a burst of explosions. Although the Lei family cultivator was embarrassed, he didn't suffer much damage. It was just that the small green shield in his hand was seriously damaged, and he couldn't help but have a toothache. Wang Hao smiled, took out a dozen fireball talismans and a dozen earth wall talismans again, and counted them in public in the ring. Stop, I admit defeat. The monk surnamed Lei chose to admit defeat with great frustration, but his resentful eyes clearly showed that he did not think he really lost to Wang Hao. Lei Lihan could not help but frown and said, "Fellow Taoist Wang, the means used by this young man in your family are probably a bit unfair." Section 12. You are listening at MaleProtagonist. Although Wang Yanzhao was not satisfied with Wang Hao's performance, he had to protect this kid. It's within the rules. What's wrong? Seeing that the two people's tone was not right, Li Yaozu hurriedly came out to smooth things over. Hey, why do you two Taoist friends have to hurt your relationship over this matter? It's just a win or loss. It's just some fireball techniques. I'm afraid it won't work against some experienced juniors. In the fourth round, Wang Hao faced a casual cultivator at the 8th level of Qi training. This casual cultivator had seen Wang Hao's fight with the Lei family cultivators. As soon as he came on stage, he took out a yellow flag with yellow sand emerging from it, protecting him tightly in front of him. Seeing that the enemy was passively beaten, Wang Hao didn't say anything more and directly released 10 fireball talismans to test the waters. Unfortunately, the 10 small fireballs quickly disintegrated as soon as they entered the yellow sand area, and they didn't even touch the enemy's hair. The casual cultivator sneered, "Use whatever means you have. If you can only use talismans, admit defeat as soon as possible." Wang Hao waved his hands, and a huge fireball appeared in front of him in an instant, which was at least 10 times larger than the volume produced by the fireball talisman. Go! The giant fireball rolled bigger and bigger, and when it reached the casual cultivator, it was 5 meters in diameter, emitting a monstrous heat wave. Boom! A huge red mushroom cloud rose above the ring, attracting attention. The yellow sand in front of the casual cultivator suddenly became much thinner. The fireball technique is perfect. An audience member couldn't help but exclaimed. Who is this person? First, there are a bunch of talismans, and this is the fireball technique. Is he so idle on weekdays? Yes, a spell can be instantly cast when it is cultivated to the great perfection, and the power will be much greater. Everyone knows the benefits, but who would do this? You know, it will waste several years. With that time, it is better to earn some spirit stones to buy ready-made talismans. I heard that his name is Wang Hao. He should be from the Wang family. I am afraid he is a core disciple. If I have a family to support me, I don't need much. Just give me 1 year and I can also cultivate the fireball technique to the great perfection. Okay, stop bragging. A cultivator like you who is a 4th level Qi training cultivator can only do odd jobs in the family. Wang Hao opened his bow with both hands, and fireballs flew out and hit the opposite side. Giant fireballs hit the opposite side, roaring continuously. The fire rose, and the screams of casual cultivators were faintly heard. Wang Hao wins. The foundation building cultivator on the sidelines announced immediately, and then quickly cast a spell to put out the flames and rescue the casual cultivator. Oh my god, the 6th level Qi training is better than the 8th level Qi training. This child of the Wang family is too amazing. No, I don't know if the Wang family will accept a son-in-law. Not to mention the Qi training cultivators, even the foundation building cultivators were shocked. Wang Yanzhao's face was full of joy. Friend Lei, is this kid's method acceptable? Is it unfair that the cultivator of your Lei family lost? Humph, it's just an attack method. If the casual cultivator attacks first, the huge gap in strength cannot be blocked by a few earth wall talismans. Winning is winning, losing is losing, there is no if. Wang Yanzhao smiled proudly. Wang Hao won this match and was already in the top 8, completing the task set by Lao Wang, so he planned to fight if he could, and admit defeat if he couldn't. He couldn't fight to the death. He had consumed more than 500 spirit stones in these few matches, and he could no longer afford to play, but he felt that he would lose if he didn't get the reward for the top 3. He had only used the fireball spell so far, and there were still 5 master-level spells that had not been exposed, so he might have a chance. The top 8 were selected one after another, and only one casual cultivator remained, 2 from the Wang family, 2 from the Li family, and 1 from each of the other 3 families. Another cultivator from the Wang family was Wang Yanping, who was of the Yan generation. He was only 30 years old this year, not much older than Wang Hao. According to the ranking, he was Wang Hao's 19th uncle. He had the 8th level of Qi training and was extremely good at fighting. The 2 from the Li family were named Li Durong and Li Didao, a man and a woman. The man looked to be in his 30s, and the woman was younger, about 20. Of course, this was just the appearance, and Wang Hao couldn't tell the actual age at all. Li Durong's temperament is cold, but her round face and a pair of dimples make her look very cute, which forms a strong contrast with her personal temperament. However, Wang Hao only looked at her a few more times and didn't think much. Wang Hao saw this woman's fighting skills. She is a tough character. She has the 9th level of Qi training and uses a long yellow silk as a weapon. In several games, she has wrapped her opponents to the point of almost dying. Wang Hao doesn't want to provoke her. Chapter 21. They are too weak that I in the semi-finals. Wang Hao faced Li Didao. Wang Hao noticed that Li Durong seemed to say something to him before Li Didao came on stage, and also glanced at Wang Hao. I'm afraid she was explaining some tactics. Sure enough, Li Didao started to attack fiercely after he came on stage to greet him. He used a folding fan. When he gently waved it, flames flew out one after another, and the momentum was extremely fierce. The earth wall talisman in Wang Hao's hand couldn't stop it at all. Seeing this, Wang Hao didn't take it hard. He used the light body technique to move around in the ring, and occasionally fired a fireball to fight back. Unfortunately, he was unable to hurt the opponent. The protective shield formed by the green jade pendant worn by Li Didao could easily resist Wang Hao's fireball. Neither of them could do anything to the other for a while, but if the stalemate continued, Wang Hao, whose cultivation was 2 small realms lower than the opponent, would definitely run out of mana first, and it would be a matter of time before he was defeated by the opponent. After fighting for a while, Wang Hao also understood the opponent's methods and knew that he had to fight quickly. He had a plan in mind. Taking advantage of the gap between the opponent's attacks, Wang Hao dodged to a corner of the ring, cast spells with both hands, and instantly condensed 5 huge fireballs to attack the opponent. Li Didao could only defend. Wang Hao kept increasing the intensity, overwhelming his attacks. At the same time, he used the winding technique with one hand to lock Li Didao's moving space. Finally, he took out the red gold sword. Under the control of the master's traction technique, the red gold sword turned into a rainbow and flew towards Li Didao. Li Didao's legs were locked by Wang Hao's entanglement technique, and he lost his mobility. It was already difficult to deal with several huge fireballs, and he was even more helpless against the red gold sword. Although he could break away from the entanglement technique and dodge the attack as long as he was given a little time, it was obvious that he didn't have this time, so he could only watch as the red gold sword pierced his protective shield and flew towards his chest. Seeing the crisis, Li Yaozu on the sidelines immediately stretched out his hand to break Wang Hao's entanglement, instantly pulled Li Didao away from Wang Hao's attack range, and said, Little friend Wang wins this one, Li Dideo. Looked defeated and unwilling, but looking back on the situation just now, he had no chance of winning and could only lower his head helplessly. Fellow Taoist Wang, your son is really interesting. He has perfected 5 low-level spells, which is really rare. When he improves his cultivation in the future, he will definitely be the first among the younger generation. Li Yaozu couldn't help but admire. Wang Yanzhao chuckled, fellow Taoist Li is overrated. It's just a few low-level spells. Cultivation is the foundation. My son is 24 years old and has practiced at the 6th level of Qi. He is not as good as the genius of the Li family. Li Durong on the side couldn't help but look at Wang Hao one more time, and then came on the stage and defeated Wang Yanping in a few breaths, which was regarded as revenge for Li Dideo. The top 4 emerged, with no casual cultivators left. The Lei family was also eliminated, leaving only Wang Hao, Li Durong, Zhao Mingjian from the Zhao family, and Qing Yanxue from the Qing family. No more drawing lots, just men versus men, women versus women. Zhao Mingjian's cultivation level is also at the 8th level of Qi training. He carries a sword on his back and a yellow gourd hanging on his waist. He can defeat the monks of the Lei family who are at the 9th level of Qi training. He obviously has a few brushes, and Wang Hao dare not be careless. According to our understanding, this person is good at using flying swords, and the gourd can also attack and defend. The cold energy contained in it is huge and powerful. Wang Hao once saw this person use the cold air generated by the gourd to freeze the opponent's magic weapon in the top 16 competition. Easy victory. As soon as he came on stage, Zhao Mingjian took the lead and threw a dozen fireball charms at Wang Hao. Wang Hao could only passively dodge, and at the same time threw out the earthen wall talisman to form a high wall in front of him. With a rumble, the earth wall was bombarded by the fireball, but it did not collapse. However, almost the moment the fireball hit, a dozen sword lights flew towards it. Gone, are all swordsmen so shameless? Attacking an old comrade of mine. Wang Hao dodged again and again, but was still stabbed by 3 sword lights. One of them was consumed by the protective shield, and the other was offset by the shield given by Lao Wang. However, the last one struck Wang Hao solidly, and in it there was a 3-inch long gash on the arm. If Wang Hao hadn't avoided it in the end, this sword could have cut off the entire arm. Sword cultivators are said to be invincible at the same level, and Wang Hao has experienced this firsthand. The first injury also made the good-tempered Wang Hao angry. He decided to retaliate with Fireball Talisman, Falling Stone Talisman, Ice Arrow Talisman, Water Dragon Talisman, and Golden Light Talisman and threw them out for free. He felt distressed while throwing them away. This was the wealth he had accumulated in the past 3 years. Various attacks covered most of the arena. Even if Zhao Mingjian is a swordsman and his body skills are higher than those of monks of the same level, he cannot deal with so many attacks. He can only use the gourd on his waist to release the ice energy to cover himself. Various spells were partially eliminated by the cold air, but this was not enough. Zhao Mingjian gritted his teeth and took out a blue bead and hung it on his head, muttering something in his mouth. The moment it was activated, the blue bead emits a blue light, freezing everything around it. Even the fireball was frozen into ice flames, making it difficult to move forward, but looking at Zhao Mingjian's expression, he was not relaxed, and it was obvious that he had spent a lot of mana. After Wang Hao threw the talisman seal, he was not idle. He continued to use the drawing technique to attack with his sword, and from time to time he released the fireball technique and the entanglement technique to restrict Zhao Mingjian's movement. For a moment, one side of the arena was filled with flying sand and rocks, while the other side was frozen for thousands of miles, and you could hear a needle drop. Zhao Mingjian's method was clever and powerful, but it also cost a lot, and he did not dare to remove the gourd and blue orb. Once removed, he would be submerged in the sea of attacks launched by Wang Hao. Tie yourself up in a cocoon, Wang Hao sneered, and fought with him on the side, constantly releasing talismans and attacking with his sword at the same time. Finally, when Wang Hao's magic power was about to run out, the blue beads on Zhao Mingjian's head suddenly clicked and he could no longer hold on. Without the protection of the blue beads, Wang Hao's violent attacks came instantly. Wang Hao also used his last mana to use 10 fireballs in a row, rushing to hit Zhao Mingjian's defensive spirit shield. A large amount of steam came out, and the defensive spirit on his body surfaced. The mask became thinner and finally shattered. Zhao Mingjian flew out upside down, and Wang Hao also collapsed to the ground due to exhaustion of mana. It can be said that both sides suffered losses. Wang Hao was helped off the field, and Wang Yanzhao also hurriedly came over and handed him a few healing pills. "You're doing well, even my father didn't expect you to have such strength." "Haha, I didn't expect it myself. I'm afraid it's not that I'm awesome, but that they are too good." Wang Hao recalled his experience in the past 6 years. He never felt that there was anything outstanding about him. It was just that he practiced the magic of Dzogchen. Isn't this something everyone can do? Everyone around was speechless. They were so shocked by Wang Hao's arrogance that they couldn't speak. However, they were right. Several people with higher cultivation levels than Wang Hao were defeated. It's hard to ridicule them too much. "You are so awesome. Defeat him. The child is young and ignorant, please don't mind." Wang Yanzhao had to comfort him with words. Wang Hao was speechless. He was indeed their favorite. He didn't believe that the children of those big families would be defeated by him. Having said that, this rule is beneficial to Wang Hao. The monks in the late stage of Qi training can already easily control the second-level low-grade magic weapon. Although it does not last long, its power can easily break through Wang Hao's defense. In that case, Wang Hao, no matter how many cards Hao has, he doesn't have time to use them all. Chapter 22. You are familiar with it. Wang Hao's side fought hard, but Li Dirong's side was relatively relaxed. He easily won with just half a stick of incense. Standing on the ring, he said to Wang Hao, "Is it enough to give you an hour to recover?" Even after taking the elixir, Wang Hao only had half of the mana in his body at the moment. However, even if his mana was full, he had no use for the talisman seal, so he said, "There is no need to compete. I think I am no match for the fairy, so I am willing to admit defeat." Wang Hao doesn't care about fame. The rewards for the top 3 are the same, so he won't compete for the first place. He has already been very eye-catching by winning the 6th level of Qi training and the 8th level of Qi training. If he gets the first place, he won't be stared at every day. You must know that a tree that is beautiful in the forest will be destroyed by the wind. Of course, in fact, Wang Hao just couldn't beat him and didn't want to go up and get beaten. Everyone saw the strength of the two people. Wang Hao gave up and the others naturally didn't say anything. Li Dirong was a little reluctant, as if he couldn't get rid of his anger if he didn't abuse Wang Hao. He glared at Wang Hao. "Forget it for today, we will compete again when you are in the later stages of your Qi training." Returning to where the children of the Wang family were, Wang Hao found that the people around him looked at him very differently than before. Many people looked at him with admiration, but the cultivators were all arrogant, so they immediately put down their pride and came over to kneel. Licking is also out of the question. What Wang Hao dislikes the most is trouble. This is better and saves on false pleasantries. However, Wang Wenmei and Wang Wenji were familiar with Wang Hao and came to congratulate him. Both of them are about the same age as Wang Hao, but they haven't even passed the 3rd round, and their combat power is far inferior to Wang Hao. Wang Wenmei couldn't help but ask, "Fifth brother, how did you practice those spells that are so powerful? So big?" Others also leaned in to listen, and no one had too much experience in this practice. "It's nothing, but I'm familiar with it." Wang Hao pretended a little. 3 years ago, I started practicing spells. I practiced 2 rounds every day, and I didn't stop until I ran out of magic power in each round. If you can persist for 3 years, nature can also achieve great perfection. This, if it's 2 rounds a day, I'm afraid I won't have much time to practice. Wang Wenmei wondered. She has 3 spiritual roots, so she still has hope of building a foundation, but she doesn't have much time to waste on spells. Wang Hao looked at the sky at a 45-degree angle. "Since I was 18 years old, I have only slept for 2 hours a day. The rest of the time is spent practicing. There is no shortcut to practice, only diligence. Have you ever seen King Niafang in Xianxia? Fifth brother. As long as you work hard, you can be as good as you. But doesn't cultivating an immortal depend on your qualifications? At this time, a little girl with braids asked with her big eyes blinking. Section 14. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Fellow Taoist Jiang, please sit down. Jiang Chao looked quite anxious, and asked anxiously before he sat down, how many spiritual stones will you give? Wang Hao and Wang Yanfeng looked at each other, and Wang Yanfeng stretched out 5 fingers and said, if the spiritual medicine is fine, we will give this number. 500 spiritual stones, too low, I want 800. This is the main medicine of the foundation building pill. Jiang Chao said excitedly, if it is too low, I won't sell it. But it is only 80 years old, at most 600 spiritual stones. Chang Bao on the side said, fellow Taoist Wang, fellow Taoist Jiang is not easy, add a little more. Wang Yanfeng pondered, okay, 700 spiritual stones, no more. Chang Bao said to Jiang Chao, fellow Taoist Jiang, 700 spiritual stones are not a small amount, even if you go to other houses, it won't be higher. Jiang Chao thought for a moment, and then agreed, the day after tomorrow morning, I will wait for you at the entrance of the market. After that, he said goodbye to Chang Bao and left. Wang Yanfeng told them that this kind of transaction requires confirmation of the goods before paying, so Jiang Chao needs to take them there, otherwise a casual cultivator can make up a story to cheat hundreds of spirit stones, which will be a mess. I'm here, so we'll go together this time. You'll be in charge of the store by yourself in the future, so be careful. Well, Uncle Ba, don't worry, I'm very lucky, Wang Hao thought to himself. He would not take risks except for Ningyuan fruit. After the matter was settled, the two began to prepare separately. Going deep into Xuanhuan mountain, they must prepare a large number of talismans and healing and detoxification pills, such as Huiling pill, Qingling pill, and Qixue pill. It's best not to use them. If you don't have them or the quantity is insufficient, you will die. There are pills in the pill shop. Just take them and keep a record. If you don't need them, you can return them. The talismans need to be purchased outside. With the identity of the store manager, Wang Hao no longer had to be timid in doing things. He directly sold a batch of spiritual medicines to Qingyuan Pavilion and bought 100 talismans. In addition to the top-grade magic tools and second-level low-grade spiritual talismans won in the fight, he was mentally confident. 2 days later, Jiang Chao arrived as promised, and the 3 of them went straight to the Xuanhuan Mountains without any nonsense. Xuanhuan Mountain stretches across 1,000,000 miles, blocking the communication between the South China Sea cultivation world and the Xuanhuan continent, hence the name. King Niafang City is only a small part of its southern foothills. It is said that there are 4th-level monsters, but they only move around the edge, and 2nd-level monsters are not often encountered. After a while, the 3 disappeared in the dense jungle. Jiang Chao and Wang Yanfeng were cautious, but Wang Hao was not worried at all. He had already opened the evil map, and there was no boss's skull logo nearby. However, as the 3 of them went deeper, the situation began to change. The plants became more and more dense, and there were more animals. Although they were just some ordinary monsters of low quality, Wang Hao's map did not show them, but with so many of them, it was inevitable that the 3 of them would make a fuss when dealing with them, which would attract more monsters. Fellow Taoist Jiang, how far is it? Wang Yanfeng asked after killing a group of wolves. It will take at least a day and a half to travel. Although the Qigong cultivators could not fly, their travel speed reached hundreds of miles a day. In a day and a half, they would have to go 1,000 miles deeper. If we go 1,000 miles deeper, there will probably be a 2nd-level monster. Wang Yanfeng said worriedly. Hee, fellow Taoist Wang, aren't you talking nonsense? If there were no such risk, the borage would have been discovered long ago. How could it be our turn? Jiang Chao said confidently, don't worry, I've been here twice and never encountered a 2nd-level monster. Wang Hao was skeptical. His map showed a green skull in front, and the 1st-level monster was a small white skull, which meant that there was at least a 2nd-level monster there. I don't know if Xianxia is lucky or if the monster just happened to move here. Wang Hao thought to himself. Fortunately, Xianxia did not go straight, but took the two of them on a detour, and when they passed a big river, they walked along the river again. My two Taoist friends, there are many monsters in this river, so be careful and try to restrain your breath. He jumped directly into the river. Wang Hao and Wang Yanfeng looked at each other and followed into the water. The three of them swam along the river bank. After a while, Xianxia got out of the water and used the earth escape technique to hurry on. Wang Hao finally understood that Xianxia was a capable person. By entering and exiting the water, he successfully bypassed two small monster groups. The scattered cultivators struggling to survive should not be underestimated. Even if Wang Hao had a real-time map in his mind and asked him to lead the team, he could not choose a better route. However, the deeper you go, the more monsters there are, and these monsters are active, and sometimes you have to fight a big battle when you meet them. The three of them tried their best to avoid getting entangled. When they reached the destination, they were exhausted physically and mentally, and there was not much mana left. Xianxia pointed to a green half-man-high plant behind a boulder. This is borage. The two of you have found the way. Can you give me the spirit stones? Wang Yanfeng signaled Wang Hao to go and check the situation. Wang Hao put on a protective shield and pinched a dozen talismans in his hand. Generally, there are monsters guarding the spiritual objects in the world. There is no monster near this borage, but Wang Hao still added an insurance for himself. Easy to touch. The farm icon lights up. Wang Hao smiled with relief. Uncle 8, everything is normal. After Wang Yanfeng got the response, he took out 700 spirit stones. Fellow Taoist Jiang, happy cooperation. I hope you can contact us if you have any spiritual medicine news in the future. Xianxia took the spirit stones and smiled. As long as the price given by the Wang family is fair, the spiritual medicine is easy to talk about. Please wait for a moment, fellow Taoist, Wang Yanfeng said, taking out tools and preparing to transplant borage. Xianxia kept smiling behind Wang Yanfeng. Something is wrong, is it so smooth? Wang Hao suddenly realized after getting the borage seeds, his heart pounding. Come and help, we can move away so that we can leave this damn place. At this time, Wang Yanfeng had already picked up the spiritual shovel and started digging the soil. Uncle 8, wait. It's too late to wake up now, the formation is up. Xianxia in the distance laughed grimly, pinched his hands, and a transparent yellow light shield immediately covered Wang Hao and the others. Fuck, the first time I go out, I encounter murder and treasure grabbing. Wang Hao cursed speechlessly. Wang Yanfeng put down the spiritual shovel and said angrily, fellow Taoist Jiang, we too have not sinned against you, why is it like this? Now that you have taken away the formation, I can guarantee that nothing happened. Tian Nai, do you think I will stop? Fellow Taoist Jiang, you can't deal with us alone even with the help of the formation. There is still a glimmer of hope if you turn back soon, otherwise. Wang Yanfeng continued to talk nonsense with Xianxia, while signaling Wang Hao to quickly recover his magic power to deal with the next battle. Huh, what about us? Before he finished speaking, a woman in green and a black-faced man jumped out from behind Xianxia. You are courting death by ambush our Wang family cultivators. The Wang family will not let you go. The black-faced man laughed. After I finish this job, I will naturally leave Qingniafeng City, so don't worry about it, fellow Taoist. Looking at Wang Yanfeng who was talking nonsense, why did Wang Hao feel that his side was more and more like the villain's cannon fodder, and the other side was the protagonist? This uncle was really unreliable. Chapter 25. Do you really dare to do it? What nonsense, start, these two are the managers of the Wang family's medicine shop, and they must have a lot of money on them. Xianxia urged, and shot a few fireballs at the two. Uncle 8, hold on first, I'll break the formation. Wang Hao really didn't want Wang Yanfeng to speak anymore. What trapped them was only the first-level formation, the 3 talents enemy trapping formation. It might be troublesome for other cultivators, but for Wang Hao, who had achieved the great perfection of fireball, it was nothing more than a few more bombardments. If a few bombardments didn't work, then a dozen bombardments. The protagonist is the one who is ruthless and doesn't talk much. Wang Yanfeng's behavior is definitely cannon fodder. Don't let him get involved. Boom boom boom. The huge fireball exploded on the light shield, instantly making it much thinner. It works, keep going, Uncle 8 can hold on. Wang Yanfeng held up a small orange shield to defend against the three people's magic attacks. Seeing that Wang Hao made the light curtain much thinner with one round of attack, his face was also happy. This is a bit tricky. If we use all our strength, the two of them will almost run out of mana. They won't be able to hold on for long. Seeing that his attack didn't work and the opponent was about to break out of the formation, Xianxia suddenly became anxious. He didn't have much mana left because he had been acting like a real person. When the two Wang family members come out, they will definitely deal with him first. Boom boom, the 3-talent trap array is fine for dealing with monsters, but it's only a matter of time to break the formation when facing cultivators. These three people can't do anything because they don't have spirit stones. Wang Hao used 10 consecutive fireballs and used the fierce wind sword obtained from the battle to hit hard, and the yellow light curtain collapsed. A first-level superior magic weapon, it's really a fat sheep. The black-faced man was not panicked, but looked at the fierce wind sword in Wang Hao's hand with envy. I'll deal with this kid, and the sword in his hand belongs to me. He took out a long whip and attacked Wang Hao. Xianxia also envied the superior magic weapon, but unfortunately he didn't have enough mana now, so he had no choice but to help the green-clothed woman. The black-faced man was at the 7th level of Qi training. If it was before, Wang Hao might have turned around and ran away, but after the fight at Wangjiling, the core children of the family who were at the 8th level of Qi training all won. Would they be afraid of a casual cultivator like him? The black-faced man swung his long whip suddenly, and the sound of the whip tip breaking the wind pierced people's eardrums. Wang Hao immediately swung his sword to block. There was a crisp sound of snap, and the whip tip hit his long sword, and the long sword made a buzzing sound. The first collision was a draw, but Wang Hao's skills were not in his hands, but in the 6 full-level magic. You are strong, come and take my whip again. The black-faced man shouted excitedly. Wang Hao was not interested in playing with him for more. Although Wang Yanfeng was at the 7th level of Qi training, he had no experience in fighting, and his magic power was empty. He could only passively defend against the green-clothed woman and Xianxia. After just a short fight, he was beaten back again and again. Wang Hao had to deal with the black-faced man before helping him. Wang Hao dodged the attack of the black-faced man with a flash, and at the same time, he threw dozens of talismans to form a diffuse attack. He raised his hands lightly and released 5 fireballs in a row. The black-faced man's expression changed drastically when he saw this, and he hurriedly waved his long whip. With this kind of strength, you really dare to do it? Wang Hao couldn't help laughing out loud, and at the same time, he activated the entanglement technique to bind the black-faced man's hands and feet. No. Amid the black-faced man's exclamation, the huge fireball swallowed him up. Brother Cui, Xianxia cried out in pain, and at the same time he wanted to retreat. Sanyang, we are not opponents, let's retreat. Without waiting for the green-clothed woman to reply, he left the battle and wanted to leave. How could Wang Hao let him run away? He used the traction technique to control the flying sword to chase Xianxia quickly, and at the same time threw out several talismans to block his retreat. Behead, Xianxia didn't have much magic power, and he was panicked and lost confidence. He couldn't dodge in time and was beheaded by Wang Hao's sword. 3-2 became 2-1. The fate of the woman in green was doomed. Seeing Wang Hao kill 2 people in a row, Wang Yanfeng was itching to do it. He also imitated Wang Hao's method and scattered a large number of talismans, making a huge rumbling noise. Then he used a fishing net-like magic weapon to trap the woman in green, and then shouted to Wang Hao, "Wen Hao, do it." Wang Hao was speechless. There was only one person left. 2 people could grind her to death. Why waste so many talismans? This uncle is really unreliable. Although he complained, he would not miss the opportunity. He directly controlled the flying sword to pass through the woman's abdomen. The woman in green covered the sword hole in her abdomen with both hands, and closed her eyes forever with an unwilling look on her face. Wang Yanfeng put away the magic weapon and walked forward. He shook his head and regretted it, and then said, "Hao, look, this Xuanhuan mountain is so dangerous. Fortunately, you have your uncle to accompany you this time. Don't go into the mountain again in the future." Fuck, it was you who coveted the elixir and decided to go into the mountain. "Uncle, I broke this formation and killed people." "Ahem, don't worry about these details. Let's transplant the borage and leave quickly." Roar. At this moment, a roar suddenly came from a distance. "No, it's a second-level monster, hurry up." Wang Yanfeng's face changed drastically when he heard the roar. He didn't care whether the borage was alive or not. He shoveled it and hurriedly put it into the storage bag, turned around and ran. Wang Hao was almost numb. This monster was probably attracted by the sound of the fight between several people. Wang Yanfeng's last talismans contributed greatly. At the same time, he secretly cursed himself for being careless. If he had been staring at the map all the time, he would definitely see the monster approaching. He hurriedly collected the storage bags of the 3 black-faced men and chased after Wang Yanfeng. Section 15. You are listening at novelfull.audio. But not long after the two of them ran, Wang Hao found 2 second-level monsters in front and on the right, and Wang Yanzhao was walking forward regardless. Fuck, Wang Hao was speechless. What a little expert in courting death. He couldn't just ignore it, so he had to quickly step forward to stop Wang Yanfeng. "Run, why are you stopping me, you want to die?" Wang Yanfeng was immediately anxious. This made Wang Hao very angry, but this was not the time to get angry. "You are running like this, you are not going to die, you have attracted all the monsters nearby. What should I do?" Wang Yanfeng looked anxious. "Follow me, use the earth escape technique." Wang Hao called out and took the lead in escaping underground and heading to the left. The information ahead was unclear, and the map was white, but he had no choice. There were second-level monsters in front, behind, and on the right. If it was just one, it would be fine, but there were 4 or 5, one of them was at the 6th level of Qi training, and the other at the 7th level. Their speed was much slower than that of the second-level monster. After running for an incense stick of time, they were still caught up by a second-level inferior white tiger-shaped monster. The tiger-shaped monster slapped the ground with its claws, and the 2 people underground felt as if there was an earthquake. The surrounding soil kept squeezing the 2 people's protective shields. If it took a long time, they would definitely be crushed to death underground. The 2 could only escape. Wang Hao just appeared on the ground, and the tiger-shaped monster roared, and a wind blade attacked the 2. Wang Hao hurriedly slapped out several earth wall talismans, and the wind blade broke 3 earth walls before stopping. "Uncle Ba, you go first, I'll hold on for a while." Wang Yanfeng's combat power was not good, and if he stayed, it would basically be a waste. Wang Hao could only stay behind to cover the retreat. Chapter 26 Harvest. Now is not the time to hesitate. Wang Yanfeng also knew this. At the same time, he was carrying borage, and he felt that it was more important to run out. He hurriedly slapped a few light body talismans on his body and left quickly. The tiger-shaped monster was furious, roaring again, and sending out several wind blades to attack Wang Yanfeng. Wang Hao took out the fierce wind sword to block it, shouting, "Little cat, don't be distracted, your opponent is me." Wang Hao threw a fireball, but unfortunately the tiger-shaped monster was agile and dodged the attack range of the fireball with a light jump. It looked at Wang Hao with contempt, as if mocking Wang Hao for overestimating his own abilities, and did not attack. It just looked down at Wang Hao, as if saying, "Use whatever means you have." It didn't attack. Wang Hao was naturally happy, so that Wang Yanfeng could run farther away. After a moment, the tiger-shaped monster became impatient and suddenly jumped to attack Wang Hao. Wang Hao used the light body technique to dodge quickly, circled around the tiger-shaped monster, and fired fireballs while running. A circle of fireballs attacked the tiger monster. Although it did not hit, but the aftermath of the explosion still affected the tiger monster and ignited its fur. The tiger demon was furious and began to attack Wang Hao with all his strength. Even though Wang Hao had perfected his light body technique, he was still scratched by the tiger demon's claws after several rounds. However, the tiger demon did not take much advantage. Wang Hao exchanged injuries for injuries and gave it a solid sword on its front leg. The man and the tiger fought for more than 10 times, and Wang Hao only hit the tiger demon 3 times, and they were all superficial injuries. However, at this point in the battle, Wang Hao's already limited mana was even more stretched, which made him feel very tired, while the tiger demon relied entirely on physical strength and did not consume much spiritual power at all. With the physique of a second-level monster, relying only on physical strength, even if it was a high-intensity confrontation, it would not be a problem for 1 or 2 days. But Wang Hao could not bear it. Moreover, this was in the Xuanhuan mountains, and there were other second-level monsters around, so Wang Hao had to find a way to escape. Taking out a bottle of Huiling pills from the storage bag, Wang Hao swallowed them directly without even looking at them, and then he felt that his tired body had recovered, but the tiger demon was not stupid. Seeing him swallow the elixir, he attacked directly. Wang Hao dodged slightly, but failed to dodge. The protective shield dimmed instantly, and Wang Hao was slapped away. After landing, Wang Hao felt uncomfortable in his chest and spit out a mouthful of blood. There is no other way, I can only use this. Wang Hao took out a talisman. There was a small golden sword in the middle of the talisman, which was the second-level golden sword talisman he got as a prize last time. Go! Wang Hao didn't care about the pain, and he shot the golden sword talisman at the tiger demon, and at the same time used the light body technique to quickly move away. The tiger demon wanted to chase Wang Hao, but the golden sword talisman had locked it. The huge power made it realize the danger and had to concentrate on dealing with it. Wang Hao chose a good time. Several monsters in other directions were about to come here. This kind of second-level monster has no alliance. If you meet it, you will beat your dog brains first. If they fight, Wang Hao will naturally be safe. Sure enough, after Wang Hao escaped, he heard the roars of several monsters from a distance. He looked at the map and saw that 3 skulls had already bumped into each other. He couldn't help but laugh out loud. Beasts are beasts. Wang Hao's escape technique was perfect, and he was much faster than Wang Yanfeng. He caught up with him after going more than 50 miles into the unknown area. Seeing Wang Hao, Wang Yanfeng was very surprised. Hao, where is the white tiger? Gone, can't you care about my safety first? I don't know, it should be fighting with other monsters. I didn't dare to stay for long after releasing the second-level talisman. Wang Hao looked up at the terrain and saw the dense forests around him. Where is this place? I don't know either, but as long as we go east, we can get out of the Xuanhuan mountains. Wang Yanfeng replied, isn't this nonsense? Wang Hao is completely disappointed with this 8th uncle. The problem is that there are monsters blocking the road in the east. Do they dare to go over? In this dense forest, Wang Hao had no idea what to do. He really didn't realize how limited his methods were until he went out. It would be great if he had a spirit beast or spirit insect to explore the way. The evil map is as cheating as ever. It cannot display the map of the entire area until you reach the core node. It is useless. Moreover, the monsters it displays must be at least high quality. However, there are many animals in this mountain forest, including some poisonous insects and poisonous snakes. Although they are not of high quality, but there are so many of them, if one bites them, the immortal cultivator will burp if he does not treat them in time. Wang Hao sat down cross-legged and began to recover his spiritual power. We can't go deeper, who knows what we will encounter, we will wait here. Wait? Wang Yanfeng asked in confusion, when those monsters free their hands, what will happen to us? Wang Hao sneered, if they fight together, they will have to shed their skins even if they don't die. Maybe our uncle and nephew can pick up some second-level materials. Uncle 8, the value of these second-level monster materials is not low. If there is a demon elixir, a second-level demon elixir is worth at least 500 spirit stones. In addition, the claws, teeth, and bones of demon beasts are all excellent materials for refining weapons, and their value is also not low. In addition to making defensive spiritual weapons, animal skins can also to draw talismans, animal blood can be used to make blood ink. The unit price of second-level animal meat is not high, only 2 kilograms can be sold for 1 spiritual stone. However, second-level monsters are huge in size, some weighing thousands of kilograms. That is the second-level beast. Wang Hao estimates that the low-grade white tiger weighs about 1,500 kilograms. Even if he throws invaluable claws, skins, and other worthless things such as viscera and water, he can still produce 800 or 900 kilograms of pure meat. This is another 400 spirit stones. Added up as a whole, the body of a second-level monster can be sold for 2,000 to 3,000 spirit stones. Wang Yanfeng was moved. He had been sitting in the city for several years and had accumulated hundreds of spirit stones. If he could hunt down a second-level monster, he would be able to get thousands of spirit stones. He gritted his teeth and said firmly, "Okay, listen to you. Yes, let's wait, but we can't wait here. We'd better dig a cave underground, hide it, and wait until the movement disappears before we check." Wang Hao nodded. In terms of field experience, he was indeed not as rich as Wang Yanfeng. After saying that, the two of them started to dig out a temporary cave of 100 meters square 30 meters underground. The two of them rested cross-legged while paying attention to the movements outside. In fact, Wang Hao only needs to pay attention to the skulls on the map. Now that the 3 skulls are together and the monsters are still fighting, they can't just sit together and drink tea, right? By the way, we need to count the harvest. Wang Hao hurriedly took away the storage bags of Xianxia and the others, without having time to check them. Then he took out 3 storage bags, erased the marks of the 3 people without much effort, opened the storage bags and poured out all the contents. "Hey, I'm so poor." He looked at the pile of scattered things, but most of them were daily necessities, which were worthless. He was a casual cultivator, and he usually took his belongings with him. Wang Hao threw aside the useless pots and pans, and put away the others in different categories. The movement attracted Wang Yanfeng's attention, and he found more than 800 spiritual stones. He curled his lips and said, 700 of them were just given to him by me. Gone, what does this mean? Do you want to take back the 700 spirit stones? Wang Hao advised, Uncle 8th, we have brought back borage. These 700 naturally belong to Jiang Chao. Now that Jiang Chao is dead, wouldn't it be nice for us to share these spiritual stones equally? Wang Yanfeng was stunned when he heard this. He was not a selfless person who was devoted to public affairs. The only thing that cultivators fought for was resources. Why not do it if they could get 400 spiritual stones for free? Besides, they also found borage for the family, which did no harm. Because of the interests of the family, he nodded, okay, everything else belongs to you. After all, you are the one who killed the person. Chapter 27. Following the second-level monster, Wang Hao smiled with satisfaction and looked at other items. There were only 3 magic weapons, 2 first-level mid-level knives, and the first-level high-level magic weapon whip used by the black-faced man. Wang Hao didn't know how to whip. It's useless to use it. It can only be sold for money. Even if it is sold at the lowest price, it will be close to 200 spirit stones. The rest of the sundries are even less. There are only a few pills, a few low-level talismans, and the techniques practiced by the 3 of them are also commonplace, so they should be given to the family in exchange for a batch of contributions. The biggest gain was 2 secret techniques, 1 body refining technique and the ice muscle and jade bone technique. Unfortunately, it only had 6 levels and could only be practiced to the late stage of foundation building. After practicing it, it can greatly increase the physical strength and increase the chance of foundation building by 20%. This is easy to understand. As the physical strength increases, the ability to resist the impact of spiritual power will become stronger, and the risk during foundation building will naturally be smaller. Wang Hao is very satisfied. He has been taking drugs to practice, which sometimes inevitably damages his body and meridians. If his body strength increases, the efficiency and quantity of his drug taking will increase, which speeds up his practice in disguise. In addition, it also has the effect of making the cultivator's skin whiter and tenderer. Wang Hao is already handsome enough, but this effect is actually not very effective. The ice muscle jade bone kung fu comes with several prescriptions. During the qi refining period, you mainly need to take medicinal baths. During the foundation building period, you can refine elixirs into elixirs to assist in practice. Wang Hao took a general look at the elixirs. He had all the elixirs needed for qi refining. But he has not yet obtained some rare elixirs from the ice muscle jade bone pill that needs to be taken during the foundation building period. This is also the reason why there is relatively little physical training. It is too expensive. The medicinal materials for a medicinal bath in the early stage cost 30 spirit stones, 50 in the middle stage, and up to 80 in the later stage. One time of dispensing the medicine can last for 3 to 5 times. The sky has no effect. It takes 3 to 4,000 spiritual stones to soak for a year. During the qi refining period, where will the financial resources come from? Of course, only people like Wang Hao who eat elixirs like jelly beans think so. Most body-refining monks only take medicinal baths at critical moments, and usually rely on practicing fists and kicks to increase physical strength. The other one is called clairvoyance. As the name suggests, it is a technique that can be used for investigation. It can also be used to observe the opponent's weaknesses when facing enemies. These two secret techniques are not rare, but they are not common either. In short, they only need to be useful. Although there was no danger in this trip to the Xuanhuan mountains, it also fully exposed the problem of Wang Hao's single method of dealing with the enemy. If the body refining is successful, by cultivating both physical and mental skills, you will be more able to deal with enemies with ease. Wang Hao made a copy of the two secret techniques and threw them to Wang Yanfeng, Uncle Eighth. These two secret techniques are good. Please help me give them to the family in exchange for my contribution. The family also has a way to obtain the foundation building pill. Wang Hao can earn more contributions and be prepared for any emergencies. Don't be embarrassed when he wants to exchange for the foundation establishment pill but doesn't have any contribution points to use. Wang Yanfeng took it and inspected it first, then looked at Wang Hao with playful eyes. You want to practice this? Do you want to do your old job of stealing fragrance and jade again? Uncle Eighth, is this the impression I have in your mind? Wang Hao was very speechless. Don't I value the function of ice muscle and jade bone to increase the chance of foundation building? You also know that I have 5 spiritual roots. Even if I have foundation building, Dan only has a 60% chance of building a foundation, which is too low. Is that so? Wang Yanfeng fell into deep thought and said after a long time, how about I practice too? I think you're the only one who wants to steal the beauty and the jade. Wang Hao muttered in a low voice. He had handed it over to the family anyway, and it would be fine for anyone to practice it, as long as he could bear the price. Forget it, I feel so bad even if I take 2 elixirs, and with this medicinal bath, I can't even save my wife's money. Wang Yanfeng shook his head and said with regret. Wang Hao couldn't help but say, Uncle Eighth, you should think so. After practicing ice muscle and jade bone kung fu, you might be favored by some foundation building monk. By the way, you became rich not long after you got married? You brat, how can I marry into the Wang family? But he did have some thoughts. He was already over 30, and it was time to marry a wife and have children. Practicing the ice muscle and jade bone skill might really attract. The two stayed underground for a full night. The next day, Wang Hao discovered that one of the skulls flashed and disappeared. This made Wang Hao wonder, is this a dead one? As long as high-grade monsters appear on the map, they will definitely be displayed. Now that there is suddenly no one, there is no other explanation other than death. However, the remaining 2 skulls were still there, and Wang Hao did not dare to go and check them. Another day later, Wang Hao found that 2 other skulls were slowly leaving in the opposite direction, but they were not very fast. Wang Hao guessed that they were injured. Finally, he couldn't hold it anymore and called Wang Yanfeng to prepare to move forward. Go check out the situation. Well, there seems to be no movement. Wang Yanfeng felt it carefully before nodding in agreement. The two of them cautiously went to the place where the monsters were fighting, not daring to make a sound. It took them half an hour to get there, only to see a mess within a radius of 5 miles, with twisted trees, potholes and bright red blood stains everywhere on the ground. Spotted, Wang Yanfeng looked solemn. The second-level monsters are leaving, but the blood here is too strong, which will inevitably attract other monsters. We must act quickly. Wang Hao nodded, and the two of them acted separately, quickly taking away some valuable dropped items. The one that was killed was just a bear monster, and only half of the body was left. It is not known whether the rest was eaten or scattered to other places. However, there was half a second-level monster corpse, and the upper half was more important. The person is quite satisfied. Although there is little meat, the 3 valuable parts of the skin, claws, and head are still there, so selling it for 1,500 spirit stones is not a big problem. Wang Hao pointed to the blood stains on the ground. Uncle 8, look at the traces. The other 2 monsters were also seriously injured. Should we choose one to chase after? Well, let's forget it. We've already made a lot of money this time, so don't create any complications. Wang Yanfeng wanted stability and just wanted to take out the materials he got. Wang Hao said seductively, Uncle 8, I am not bragging. I was able to resist the second-level low-grade white tiger for a moment before and successfully escaped. Now it has been fighting for 2 days and was injured again. Besides, the direction the white tiger left happened to be. We have to pass by Fengshe, right? Why don't we go and see what's going on? If we can get a complete second-level monster corpse, won't we be able to practice the ice muscle and jade bone skill? Wang Yanfeng was silent when he heard this. This was not only a matter of the spirit stone, but also related to the Taoist path and Taoist companions. It really made him feel itchy. Okay, let's go take a look, but if we can't do anything, Hao, don't be impulsive. Am I a person who doesn't care about life? The 2 people quickly cut the bear demon's body into storage bags and quietly chased after the tiger demon's traces. The 2 were not very fast. They only walked 100 miles in a day. They were still 2 miles away from the edge of the Xuanhuan mountain range. A journey of thousands of miles is still dangerous. There were constant blood stains along the way. It was obvious that the white tiger was seriously injured, otherwise it would not have stopped bleeding after so long. This made Wang Yanfeng a lot excited. The map also showed that the white tiger's speed was getting slower and slower, until it stopped at a mountain peak. Above, the 2 of them followed the traces and climbed halfway up the mountain before discovering the white tiger's cave. Section 16. You are listening at MaleProtagonist. It is a nest formed by a huge rock between the mountains. Uncle 8. Wang Hao looked at Wang Yanfeng and signaled him to make a decision. It seems that the white tiger is really injured, otherwise it would have discovered us at such a close distance. Wang Yanfeng analyzed, be careful, let's go in together. The 2 took out magic tools and talismans to prevent the white tiger from suddenly attacking. When they entered the cave, there was a narrow passage more than 10 feet long. Suddenly, it was an underground cave covering an area of about tens of acres. There was a small half of the cave without a roof, more than 20 feet above the ground, and light could penetrate and illuminate the cave. The cave was not flat. There were several large rocks on the ground, and there were many first-level spiritual medicines growing around. Although they were not precious varieties, there were still several rare ones. As soon as the 2 appeared at the entrance of the cave, the white tiger let out a roar like collapsing mountains and cracking rocks, and Wang Hao felt that his soul was unstable. The 2 were scared to death, and immediately sent out several talismans, and then used the light body technique to escape. But after the 2 escaped from the cave, the white tiger did not chase them out. The 2 suddenly realized that the white tiger was dying. After signaling to each other, they re-entered the cave. As expected, the white tiger was seriously injured. After a roar, it had no other means to deal with the 2. It just bared its teeth and snorted heavily to try to scare Wang Hao and the others away. Chapter 28. Female cultivator of the family. Ice-Eye White Tiger, Wang Yanfeng said softly. Oh, Uncle 8 recognizes this tiger? Wang Hao was interested. He still had a lot of knowledge about the world of cultivation. Well, I've seen it in the family's collection of beasts. This tiger is no different from an ordinary white tiger before it awakens its magical powers. After awakening, it can use its eyes to launch ice magic attacks. Anyone who is illuminated by its gaze will be frozen into ice. This ice-eyed white tiger is a second-level monster when it grows up. It can often reach the second-level upper grade in its prime, and there is even a high probability of advancing to the third level. After listening to Wang Yanfeng's explanation, Wang Hao broke out in a cold sweat. He had fought with this tiger before. If the ice-eyed white tiger had awakened its magical powers, he would have died long ago. The two stopped talking nonsense and used magic weapons to attack the ice-eyed white tiger. I don't know if the white tiger was exhausted, but it stood there motionless until it was killed by the two. When the two approached to observe, they found that there were two little tigers hidden under the belly of the big tiger. The two little tigers were only as long as an adult's forearm, and their eyes were not open. It seemed that they were less than a month old. The two men immediately understood why the tiger refused to move, and stood there for a while. However, since they had already been killed, Wang Hao would not say anything virtuous, so he said, Uncle Ba, I will take the two tiger cubs out, and you can deal with the bodies. Wang Yanfeng nodded. The spiritual beast that can grow to the third level has a high breeding value. Although it has not opened its eyes, it has a weak sense of perception. It is not easy to deal with the mother tiger in front of them. After Wang Hao took the two tiger cubs out, he found that they kept howling. The mother tiger had been out for a long time and was killed by the two men as soon as she came back. She must be hungry. The cubs are too small to eat anything else, so they can only drink milk. But how could Wang Hao have such a thing? He couldn't raise animals on his farm. He had no choice but to take out a golden silk apricot, squeeze out the juice, think about it, and dilute it several times with clean water. Then he used leaves as a funnel to slowly feed the tiger cubs. The two tiger cubs smelled the fragrance of the spiritual apricot and squeezed over at once, competing to lick the juice dripping from the funnel. After a while, they seemed to be full, stretched cutely, and fell asleep at Wang Hao's feet. Wang Hao only had one spiritual beast bag, which was already occupied by the golden-eyed duck, but the two tiger cubs were very small, so it was not a big problem to put them in for the time being, so he asked Yaya to take good care of them. Wang Yanfeng simply dealt with the body of the ice-eyed white tiger and was already dealing with the spiritual medicines on the side. Wang Hao also went over to help and collected the seeds by the way. After a while, the two left the cave with satisfaction. There were no more twists and turns on the way back to the market, and the journey was relatively smooth. When they returned to the store, the two were relieved. Wang Yanfeng was drinking tea, still feeling frightened. It was really dangerous this time, but fortunately we got a lot of harvest. How do you think we should divide these things? Wang Hao thought for a while and said, Uncle Ba will deal with the bodies of the ice-eye white tiger and the bear monster. You are more familiar with the relationship in this market than I am. Let's split the spirit stones in half. As for these two little tigers, I want to keep one, and I don't care what Uncle Ba does with the other one. Currently, Wang Hao's farm output is mainly used for upgrading. It is too stressful to support two spirit beasts, but he is reluctant to leave one behind. After all, it is a spirit beast that can be promoted to the third level, right? Wang Yanfeng said, well, I am going to practice the ice muscle and jade bone skill. I can't afford to raise a spirit beast. Let's give the other one to the family as a mountain guardian spirit beast. Thinking that he will get 2,000 or 3,000 spirit stones soon, Wang Yanfeng did not rest. He stood up and said, I will contact the buyer now. Compared with Wang Yanfeng, Wang Hao is considered to be a person who has seen big money and is much calmer. These spirit stones are enough to practice the ice muscle and jade bone skill for 1 year. I don't know if it is enough to practice to the third level. If any physical training cultivator heard him say such a wasteful thing, he would smash him into mud. Wang Yanfeng had been in the market for 5 or 6 years and had a wide network of contacts. He went out early and came back late in a week and finally sold all the materials for a good price. In the end, the half-bear monster and the whole eye-eyed white tiger were sold for a total of 4,000 spirit stones, and the two of them each got 2,000. In addition, the remaining materials, the borage and the eye-eyed white tiger, were donated to the family, and each person could get another 1,000 contribution points. During this week, Wang Hao has also become familiar with the business of the store. There are only 2 clerks in total, both of whom are young men with poor family qualifications. One is Wang Wenxin, ranked 11th, and the other is Wang Wenli, ranked 8th. The business is pretty good, but I can't say it's great. Pills are urgently needed, but there is more than just the Wang family's pill shop in Qingniafang. The bigger ones include the pill shops of Xuanhuan and Sihai Merchant Alliance. Their second-level pills are always on hand. And what about the Wang family's elixir shop? There are only a few types of second-level elixirs, and sometimes they are not in stock, so you can only make an appointment. Even the first-order elixirs are of good quality. The Wang family wins because of its low price, which also means they earn less. In addition, there is competition among some small alchemy shops. Although alchemists are rare, the number of first-level alchemists is still relatively large. Even among casual cultivators, you can find many. The competition is fierce and the goods produced are few. If it were not for Qingniafang City has a large consumption of elixirs, so the Wang family shop has been closed long ago. Lao Wang asked Wang Hao to sit in the shop in order to let him earn contribution points. But in the current situation, he can only contribute 200 to 300 a year. It costs 30,000 to exchange for the foundation establishment pill. How can he save for 100 years? In fact, this is already considered high. Ordinary clan members earn less. For example, those who take care of the spiritual fields would be great if they can contribute 100 yuan a year. If you want to earn contributions, the fastest way is to go to Xuanhuan Mountain to hunt monsters and collect elixirs. Just like Wang Hao and Wang Yanfeng did this time, if they don't sell the spirit stones, they will all give the family in exchange for contributions. The contribution points are basically the same as the spirit stones. 1 to 1, one person can contribute 3,000. But Wang Hao and the two were just unlucky this time. It would never be that easy to hunt down the second-level monster. And you can't just count the income, not the expenses. Wang Hao also sprinkled 400 to 500 spirit stones this time. With the addition of elixirs, the cost was as high as 600 spirit stones. If the two of them hadn't followed the eye-eyed white tiger in the end, they wouldn't have made much money at all. After much thought, Wang Hao decided to reform and improve the profitability of the store. At the same time, he also took this opportunity to improve his alchemy ability. His current elixir yield rate of refining Xuanhuan pill is only 30%, and he only knows this first-level high-grade pill. Pill, do you have the nerve to call me an alchemist? Although Lao Wang's notes are good, he still needs to practice them to convert them into his own abilities. In addition, he can use this to sell part of the farm's output to the store, and then use the elixir he sells to the store to make elixirs. He can earn spiritual stones, earn contributions, and improve his alchemy skills. It's a win, just do what he said. Wang Hao first found Wang Yanfeng, who was about to return to his family's headquarters. Uncle 8th, please go back and help me get 2 more people this time. Who do you want? It's best to be young, smart, and beautiful female nuns from the family. That Wang Yanfeng's face suddenly darkened, and he said angrily, what do you want to do? Where are you thinking? Isn't this for family business? Let me ask you, would it be comfortable for a young and beautiful female nun to discuss business with you? Will the success rate increase? Wang Yanfeng touched the beard on his chin when he heard this, with a nostalgic look. It's true that talking to the maid named Xuanhuan from the Sihai Merchant Alliance is very comfortable. Wang Hao was speechless. Wang Yanfeng always doubted him because of his unhealthy thinking. That's right. Why don't you learn what the 4 Seas Merchant Alliance has long understood? Wang Yanfeng nodded in agreement, but adding 2 more people will increase the family's expenses. I'm afraid the elders won't agree. Yes, if you have no funds, no technology, and no talents, how can you rashly reach out and ask for resources from above? But reforms must be made, and the sooner the better, so Wang Hao said. Then you say that I will pay these two people's salaries. If they still don't agree, spread the word among the young people in the family that I will pay 5 yuan every year. 10 spiritual stones are used to hire 2 female cultivators to work. It doesn't matter what their qualifications are, as long as they are beautiful. You really want to do this? It has to be done. Okay, anyway, your father is taking care of it. Wang Yanfeng actually felt that Wang Hao was right, but it was a pity that his personal support was not used. The family elders were all monks at the 9th level of Qi training. Chapter 29, Broken Business Routine. Wang Yanfeng set off soon, and Wang Hao was also ready to plan his time. Cultivation is the most important thing. Everything is for the improvement of cultivation, so you must ensure that you practice for more than 5 hours a day. In addition, you must allocate 2 hours a day for physical training, which is related to the chance of building a foundation. The second most important thing is, ice muscle jade bone kung fu cannot be practiced by taking a medicinal bath. It also requires time to polish the body and convert the medicinal power, just like taking an elixir requires several days of exercise to digest it. There are still 2 hours to rest. Qi training monks can stay up for a few days, but it will damage the body for a long time. In this way, 9 hours are gone, and the remaining 3 hours must be used to receive guests and refine. Pill. Wang Hao plans to sit in the front hall for only half an hour every day. This time should be fixed so that guests can find him, and the remaining time can be devoted to alchemy. As for the talismans, spells and so on, I can only put them away first. After considering the issue of time allocation, Wang Hao began to renovate the Wang family store. The Wang family's shop is quite large, covering an area of 5 acres. There are 8 front rooms in the front row. Unfortunately, half of them are abandoned, 2 of them are rented out, and the remaining 2 are naturally the Wang family's grocery stores, that it's unpleasant to look at and unpleasant to hear. Wang Hao decided to open another store, separate the Wang's grocery store and the elixir store. You can concentrate on collecting the groceries. What are you mixing with the elixirs? Wang Hao called Wang Wenxin and Wang Wenli and told them, I have decided to reform the store. Uncle Ba has already reported this to the family. You don't have to worry about this. What you have to do is to clean up the vacant stores in the next few days, and also build tables and chairs, cabinets, plaques, etc. Fifth brother, may I ask what you want? I told you not to worry about it, just do what I tell you to do, he said, showing the manager's token. The 2 of them had poor spiritual roots, low cultivation, and no support in the family, so they naturally did not dare to resist Wang Hao and went to work as ordered. 10 days later, the family finally replied. Looking at Wang Wenmei and Wang Wenyan standing in front of him, Wang Hao also knew that the family probably agreed. Wang Hao took the letter and saw that it was true. It said that the family's stores in Qingniafang were all under the management of Wang Hao. He could do whatever he wanted, but the profit submitted at the end of the year could not be lower than that of previous years. If it was lower, Wang Hao would either make up for it himself or concentrate on refining pills, and the family would send a manager to take over. Wang Hao chuckled, oh, I'm a personal contractor. Fifth brother, what do you mean by contract? Compared to the more restrained Wang Wenyan, Wang Wenmei was very familiar with Wang Hao and asked. Nothing, you 2 have worked hard all the way, go to the backyard to rest first, our medicine shop will be officially open tomorrow, you will be busy. Wang Hao handed over 2 boxes again. These are new clothes bought for you 2, remember to change into them tomorrow. Wow, there are new clothes. Wang Wenmei couldn't wait to open the box and found a set of light green water sleeve skirt. The clothes were made by Wang Hao a few days ago. It was a first-level middle-grade robe. Wang Hao also specially asked the store to do a simple waist treatment to better reflect the advantages of women. Middle-grade robe, so beautiful. Wang Wenmei exclaimed, and then hurriedly thanked, thank you, fifth brother. Wang Wenyan also thanked crisply. Then she was dragged by Wang Wenmei to the backyard to try on clothes. She didn't find anything wrong with Wang Hao's little design. Wang Hao shook his head and chuckled. Women, even if they have become immortals, still love beauty. On the second day, the new store opened, right next to the old store. Wang Hao named the new store Miaodan Pavilion, and the original store's plaque was replaced with the simple, easy-to-understand and popular Wang's grocery store. As soon as you enter Miaodan Pavilion, you will see a large lobby. Wang Hao directly demolished part of the second floor and opened a skylight, which provided excellent lighting. In the middle is a row of waist-high bars that separate customers and store staff. Behind the bar is a medicine cabinet, which contains various elixirs, spiritual medicines, spiritual wines, spiritual fruits, and other related items. On the left is a wooden board with wooden signs hanging on it, which read Spiritual Medicine Commission. If a customer comes to Miaodan Pavilion and cannot buy the spiritual medicine he needs, he can issue a commission and set his own price. He only needs to pay a deposit first. When the transaction is completed, the Wang family will deduct a part of the fee as an agency fee. There is still a board on the right, but it says that the commission for elixirs can only be entrusted to the Wang family. The specific details need to be discussed with the Wang family. The purpose of this blackboard is to announce the price and let the guests know how long they have to wait in line. The new store opened, and there were no guests to congratulate, but Wang Hao didn't care about this. He gave a word and sent all 4 guys out. The 4 ran to the places with the largest flow of people in Qingniafang and shouted loudly what Wang Hao taught them. If they were embarrassed to shout, they could just distribute the small flyers in their hands to other cultivators. Come and take a look. Fellow Taoists, Wang's Miaodan Pavilion is opening for a big sale. From now on, if you spend 100 spirit stones, you will get 10 spirit stones for free. If you spend 200, you will get 25 for free. If you spend 300, you will get 40 for free. If you spend 500, you will get 70 for free. The more you spend, the more you will get. Fellow Taoists, are you still worried about the low purchase price of spirit medicine and the high price of elixirs? Miaodan Pavilion is opening for a big sale. From now on, you can get the Wang family is entrusted with the materials for alchemy. We will undertake all first-grade high-quality elixirs. If the materials fail, we will compensate 80% of the material costs. Don't miss it if you pass by. Miaodan Pavilion can organize group purchases of elixirs. The original price of a bottle of Jilingdan is 30 lingxia, but the group price is only 27. You only need to call 2 friends to form a group. What are you waiting for? It is better to act than to be excited. Otherwise, it will be a waste of excitement. From now on, all Taoist friends who spend 50 lingxia can draw a lottery in the store once. The Wang family guarantees the reputation and there will be no empty prizes. The lowest is a consumption voucher worth 1 lingxia, and the highest can get a bottle of Huanglongdan, a high-quality elixir. Section 17. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Wang Hao's alchemy talent is not very good, so he can only use more. The current output of the farm is still too low, not enough for him to consume. If he consumes too much, it will also delay the subsequent farmland reclamation time. The gain outweighs the loss, so Wang Hao thought undertaking the elixir refining. He guarantees a 30% elixir success rate and does not charge any additional fees. If the elixir is low, he will make up for it. If the elixir is high, he will naturally make the profit. If the elixir fails, he will compensate the client with part of the spiritual stone. This pricing is very fair. Take Huanglong pill as an example. A bottle costs up to 80 spiritual stones, and 1 bottle is worth 8 spiritual stones. However, the elixir worth refining a batch of elixir is only 20 spiritual stones, and the elixir yield rate is guaranteed. The third achievement is 3 yellow dragon pills, worth 24 spiritual stones. Casual cultivators can make a lot of money, and Wang Hao will not lose. With the increase in refining pills, his pill success rate will increase sooner or later, and he will make money when it reaches 60%. Half, And when he increases the yield rate of the first-level high-grade elixir to 60%, he can try to refine the second-level low-grade elixir. No matter how he calculates it, he will not lose money. As for some business routines, they are not new at all. I have heard them all in my previous life. As the four people yelled, more and more casual cultivators were watching. The four of them also tried their best to answer the questions of the casual cultivators. In a moment, these casual cultivators surrounding the four people swarmed into the Miaodong pavilion. Chapter 30 Hot Business. Wang Hao quickly transferred the four people back. Wang Wenxin and two male cultivators maintained order. Wang Wenmei and others sold elixirs, while Wang Hao received guests who needed alchemy. For a while it was very lively. On the first day alone, we received hundreds of guests, and our turnover reached 2,000 spirit stones. We sold 20% of the elixirs that the Wang family had accumulated for several years, mainly because many people wanted to participate in the lottery. The casual cultivators are also very smart. If one person can't get it together, several people will buy it together. Then they divide it up, and there will always be 1 or 2 spiritual stones left. Wang Hao suddenly realized that he was playing too hard. This was only the first day. You must know that fighting with swords is contagious, and it will peak in a few days. He also had a headache at the moment. Such a simple business routine has attracted so many people. If this continues, I won't have time to practice. If I had known better, I would have done less or made the discount smaller. That it was the first time for Wang Wenyan and Wang Wenmei to do this kind of work, and they were more tired than the two men who had long been skilled at it. At this time, Wang Wenmei was looking at the table of food without any image. After burping, she said, "Fifth brother, if this continues, I feel like I will die from exhaustion." Wang Wenyan ate much more elegantly than she did. Maybe it was because she was not familiar with Wang Hao, so she said softly, "Fifth brother, in addition to earning some spiritual stones, we also want to ask you about your practice experience. But now, where you have time to practice. A boss who doesn't consider his employees is not a good boss. He caused this mess and he must be held responsible. Fifth brother promises, I will only delay you for 10 days at most. Tomorrow I will ask Wenxin to ride my horse chasing the wind to report to the family. I think the family will take such a profitable business seriously and will definitely send people to support us." The Wang family started with alchemy. There are 2 second-level alchemists, but they have trained many first-level alchemists. Currently, there are Wang Hao and Wang Yanfeng, first-level high-level alchemists, and nearly 10 middle-level and low-level apprentices. Mobilizing these people should reduce the pressure. Moreover, the financial resources of casual cultivators are limited, and it will take a long time for those who have purchased to buy back. I feel sorry for Wang Yanfeng, he has just returned. Wang Hao was right. After receiving the news about Wang Wenxin, the Wang family really took it seriously. Several elders held a meeting to discuss the matter and felt that there was great potential for it. Although the profit margin was reduced, judging from the account books sent by Wang Hao, the overall profit has increased by more than 10 times, and the key is that it can also train the family's alchemist. Even the Wang family cannot train so many alchemists, so only those with good alchemy talent such as Wang Yanzhao and Wang Yanfeng will be sent to Fengshe for training, so that they can always have materials to practice. He didn't have the chance to refine several furnaces of elixirs in a year. Just as Wang Hao's advertisement said, action is worse than a heartbeat. The people in power of the Wang family also know the importance of military speed. They assigned Wang Yanzhao to take the lead in supporting Wang Hao with the family's inventory of elixirs to prevent the Miaodong pavilion from closing due to the elixirs being sold out. Causing loss of credibility, the foundation building monk's sword flew extremely fast, approaching 3,000 miles in 1 hour. Wang Yanzhao came to Fengshe on the day he received the news. The remaining people will be led by Wang Yanfeng and come by car as soon as possible. In addition, the Wang family will collect them as soon as possible. Ask the elders to escort the elixir you need. With the profit motive, it can be said that the entire Wang family is in motion. However, Wang Hao, the initiator of all this, is being reprimanded. You think you are smart, but you don't think about the consequences of this? Wang Yanzhao slapped the table loudly. Now the sales volume of my Wang family's elixirs has gone up, but if you look at other stores, which one doesn't beat us? Hated so much, Wang Hao disagreed. The business war in his world was much more intense than this. The capital market is always about the jungle. Besides, I only sell low-profit first-order elixirs. Do the Qingyuan sect and the Sihai Merchant Alliance value this profit? As for the other small shops, can't the Wang family stop them? They naturally don't dare to cause trouble alone. What if they join forces? Wang Hao chuckled softly. What if we all unite? I can solve the business war myself. With their little wealth, they are just seeking death by lowering prices. As for other things, Lao Wang, you are not here to watch the show, are you? It's not that Wang Hao hasn't thought about this problem, but these shops master the art of alchemy and are in urgent need. How can they give up the high profits in the past so easily? For example, many shops offer elixir refining on behalf of others, but the price is no lower than buying finished elixirs, so casual cultivators choose them because they are overwhelmed. It will take time for them to react and unite, and there will be disagreements if there is no internal unity. After everything is discussed, the Wang family has already formed a scale effect, and casual cultivators will definitely choose to buy the Wang family's elixirs under the same conditions. Arrogant, Wang Yanzhao was very angry, but what Wang Hao said was somewhat reasonable. Old Wang, stop pretending. If the Wang family is afraid of this, will they still let you come with all the inventory? In the past, the profit of the shop was less than 1,000 spiritual stones a year, but now look at it, even if King Niafang's market is limited, and the profit can be maintained at more than 5,000. Wang Hao also patted the table. This is 5,000 spirit stones. In 10 years, the Wang family can save enough to buy a foundation-building pill spirit stone. Wang Yanzhao also fell silent when he heard this. It was indeed too tempting, and he should pay some price for it. Wang Hao sat down and took a sip of tea, and said calmly, Old Wang, the Wang family has now established 3 foundations. Wangjiling's spiritual veins are almost not enough, right? With this income, what do you want to do? It's easier, isn't it? You have to know that the soldiers and horses go first before the food and grass are used. How do you know? This is a secret of the Wang family. Wang Yanzhao's eyes widened. Wang Hao was also stunned, and swallowed a mouthful of tea, which was too hot. Ahem, cough, cough, what I guessed is true. Wang Yanzhao nodded and sighed again. Yes, the family's spiritual veins are not enough. Even you can guess what will happen, and other families are afraid. What does it mean that even you can guess it? Wang Hao couldn't help but snorted. Both Xuanhuan Mountain and the islands on the sea, there are many spiritual veins, but they are also dangerous. The ones on Xuanhuan Mountain are all occupied by monsters. Although there are few monsters on the islands, the risks on the sea are greater. How can the Wang family survive it? The sea is also a problem. I think the Wang family is still trying to interrupt Yuan Shan's idea. Wang Hao analyzed. Wang Yanzhao glared at Wang Hao and reprimanded. These things are not for you to worry about. Your most important thing now is cultivation. When my father was as old as you, he had already practiced the 8th level of qi. Gone, you, a person with 2 spiritual roots, have the nerve to compare yourself with my 5 spiritual roots? Wang Hao shook his head. It was really useless for him to worry about these things. If he had any opinions, the Wang family would not accept them. He had to practice at least the 9th level of qi and become the elder of the Wang family. Only then would the Wang family listen. Okay then, Lao Wang, you can take care of this for a few days. I've been busy from morning to night these days, so it's just a good time to rest and catch up on my practice. Wang Hao began to return to his normal life. With Wang Yanzhao and Wang Yanfeng in charge, he didn't even need to go to the store. He only needed to take a few alchemy tasks every day to hone his skills, and the rest of his time could be used for practice. Chapter 31 7th level of Qi training. In addition, the ice muscle and jade bone skill should also be put on the agenda. Wang Hao took out the prescription of the medicinal liquid required for getting started and looked at it carefully. There were not many medicines, and the properties of the medicine were quite mild. For beginners, he used strong medicine. No. However, the frying process is still extremely complicated. Some need to be steamed and some need to be boiled. The time and temperature are also different. If you make a mistake, the efficacy of the medicine will be greatly reduced, and even toxins will be produced, so be careful, but this is not difficult for Wang Hao, who has been refining elixirs all year round. It's easy to get started, except it's a bit of a waste of time. Looking at a large bucket of dark brown medicinal liquid, Wang Hao nodded with satisfaction and reached out to test the water temperature. It was extremely hot. According to the practice, it must be hot to be effective, so that the medicinal effect can enter the monk's body while the heat is present. Wang Hao took off his cassock and slowly tried to sink into the tub. Ah, it's hot, Wang Hao couldn't help shouting. The medicinal power penetrates into Wang Hao's body continuously through the pores of the skin with the help of temperature. Wang Hao's skin turns red for a while, and the skin refining begins. Wang Hao also started to operate the ice muscle and jade bone skill. In an instant, the power of the medicine seemed to be drawn, and it poured into Wang Hao's body crazily, and began to operate according to the set route, constantly stimulating Wang Hao's skin. Body refining is also divided into steps, starting with the skin, then the bones, then the internal organs, and finally the mind of the immortal cultivator. Once all are tempered, the immortal cultivator's physique will be greatly enhanced, making it difficult for ordinary spiritual weapons to pierce. After a full hour, Wang Hao couldn't bear it anymore, so he got up from the tub. Looking at the clear liquid, Wang Hao estimated that he could soak it twice more at most. The fourth time might still have some effect, but Wang Hao, who has a lot of money, obviously can't stand low-efficiency practice. While the medicine was still on his body, Wang Hao continued to practice his kung fu until all the medicine was absorbed and a tingling sensation disappeared from his skin before he stopped. He stretched out his hand and wiped his skin, making it smoother and softer. Phew! The toughness and strength have been greatly enhanced, and the effect is quite satisfactory. In this way, Wang Hao finished tempering his skin in a month and started bone refining. Ordinary body refining monks would take this process for 1 or 2 years, but their conditions are obviously incomparable to Wang Hao. It only takes 1 year. If you can't soak 3 barrels of medicinal liquid, the rest of the time will be spent on polishing your strength like a mortal martial artist, or being whipped to enhance the skin's resistance. Not only will the effect last longer, but the process will also be more painful. Wang Hao soaked it for 10 times in a month. Bucket of liquid medicine. Now Wang Hao's skin is comparable to steel. Ordinary swords can no longer pierce it. Only magic weapons will leave scars. His recovery ability is stronger than before. Refining bones took much longer than refining skin, and it took Wang Hao more than a year. The upgraded medicated bath was much more powerful than the primary medicated bath. Wang Hao sat cross-legged in it, frowning slightly, as if he was in quite a lot of pain, but he still gritted his teeth and insisted on running the technique, absorbing the power of the medicine, and looking inside with his spiritual consciousness. His bones and meridians were slowly refining the power of the medicine. The reason why the ice muscle and jade bone technique can increase the chance of foundation building is because after the bone refining begins, it can strengthen the dantian and meridians of the cultivator at the same time. With each additional level of training, the strengthening effect of the dantian and meridians becomes stronger. This process is very slow, however. Wang Hao has been cultivating immortals for many years, so he still has some patience. Moreover, after entering the second level of ice muscle jade bone kung fu, his ability to refining elixirs has become much stronger due to the increased endurance of his dantian and meridians, and his training speed has naturally increased. Speed up, as the power of the medicine deepened, he found that the meridians and bones all over his body were wrapped in the power of the medicine, faintly emitting a white light. Under the flash of light, even his dantian felt a vague itching sensation. His spiritual consciousness swept over and immediately discovered that the outer wall of dantian was slowly strengthening under the stimulation of light. Wang Hao was overjoyed, and then used his kung fu to transport more medicinal power to his dantian, gradually spreading it flat on the entire outer surface of his dantian. When this change was completed, Wang Hao's dantian immediately felt the pressure drop sharply, and the bulging caused by the previous expansion of cultivation, the feeling also disappeared. Oh, it worked. Wang Hao was extremely happy after completing the tempering of dantian for the first time, but he also knew that going too far was not enough, so he hurriedly gathered the power of the medicine to temper the bones, and saw that the calf bones began to become transparent under the tempering of the medicine. Ice muscles and jade bones, as the name suggests. Wang Hao sighed. After practicing for a while, Wang Hao slowly stopped practicing after the medicine was exhausted, jumped out of the tub, performed a cleaning technique, put on a new robe, and then pushed out the door. As a result, I saw that the moon was still high in the sky. It was late at night. He shook his head and smiled bitterly. Well, I got confused while practicing, but I don't feel sleepy now. Let's continue practicing. He was not far from the 7th level of qi refining. After strengthening his dantian and meridians, he seemed to feel the opportunity for a breakthrough, so he decided to take a small retreat. All in one go. Returning to the room, he ran the Red Lotus Magic Wood Heart Sutra. As the technique moved, he slowly absorbed the surrounding spiritual energy. After tempering his dantian and meridians, Wang Hao found that the pressure he could bear increased greatly. In the past, after he absorbed the spiritual energy, I always feel a bulging sensation in my dantian, but this time, it seems that I have absorbed more spiritual energy than before, but there is no pressure in my dantian. Wang Hao took out a Xuanhuan pill, which was taken during the later stages of qi training. He had not dared to take it in the past, but now, he planned to try it. After entering the elixir, abundant medicinal power exploded. Wang Hao once again felt that his dantian had become bulging. With the traction of the exercises, it was constantly scouring the dantian and various meridians. Some meridians that had never been opened up were also swollen due to pressure. Spiritual energy flows in, and the spiritual energy operating network in the body is expanded. Boom! Wang Hao's body trembled suddenly, and when he opened his eyes, a powerful pressure overflowed uncontrollably. I have reached the 7th level of qi training. It has been more than 7 years since I came to this world, and I have finally reached the advanced stage of qi training. Wang Hao's face showed joy. Wang Hao meditated for another 2 days to stabilize his cultivation, and then he stopped and got up, opened the panel. Name, Wang Hao, age, 26 years old, cultivation level, 7th level of qi training 381/569, Kung Fu, the 3rd level of the Red Lotus Magic Wood Heart Sutra, Mana, 379/381, Skill, Alchemy, 1st level high-grade alchemy, Talisman making, 1st level low-grade talisman making technique, Spells, Fireball, Entanglement, Wooden Shield. Earth Escape Technique, Traction Technique, Light Body Technique, and Perspective Technique, Body Training, the 2nd level of Ice Muscle and Jade Bone Skills. Section 18. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Supernatural Power. You haven't mastered supernatural power yet. The farm has been developed to 20 pieces, and there are also 9 pieces of red soil. Wang Hao's financial resources have also been greatly enhanced. Unfortunately, there is still no news about the Ningyuan fruit. In the past year or so, the business of Wang's Miaodong Pavilion has been booming. There are customers waiting before opening every day. The lobby of Miaodong Pavilion has even become a gathering place for casual cultivators. Many casual cultivators make a living by accepting spiritual medicine commissions. This made Wang Hao realize that it is necessary to separate the commission business from the medicine shop, and no longer limit spiritual medicine. As long as the price can be paid, other commissions can also be placed. So he opened a new shop for these casual cultivators to talk about business or rest. But how can we not provide some services when there are too many people? Some commissions are difficult, and one person can't do it, so he wants to pull a team, and sometimes he has to wait for several days. Sit and wait. Do you want tea or wine? After the team is pulled together, as the captain, you must treat everyone to a meal. In this way, Wang's restaurant came into being. Wang Hao did not require any good dishes or expensive spiritual materials. If they were expensive, the casual cultivators would not be able to afford them. The main feature was that the food was large in quantity and cheap. Chapter 32 Purple Light Furnace, the three stores added together, and the Wang family's income was more than 10 times more than before. Moreover, after gradually forming a word-of-mouth effect, the income would increase. This made the Wang family's top management pay great attention to it. They sent a foundation-building person to the store all year round, and also sent 2 elders to take charge of the newly opened stores. Wang Hao's suggestions were also adopted. The waiters and other service staff were all young and beautiful female cultivators. If the Wang family was not enough, they would recruit casual cultivators. Now the 3 stores have hired 20 service staff, 8 of whom are casual cultivators. Of course, the pressure from the outside world is also increasing. Many people are jealous and jointly suppress the Wang family. But if they unite, Wang Hao will also unite. The restaurant needs spiritual wine. The Zhao family grew up by the spiritual wine business, so please ask the Zhao family to invest. After the entrusted business is not limited to spiritual medicine, it also shows the demand for raw materials such as talisman making and refining. Wouldn't this attract the Li family and the Lei family to join in? In addition, can the Li family, the Lei family and other talisman making and refining families also learn the routines of the Miaodong Pavilion? They started late and have no experience. It doesn't matter. Can everyone cooperate? The Wang family will pass on their experience and they will enter the commission business. Anyway, the Wang family does not have talents such as talisman making and refining. If they can't take over this market, they might as well share it with others. Of course, they can work alone, but is it more convenient and efficient to enter a commission business that has already formed a scale and word-of-mouth effect? As long as the 5 major families stand together, other small refining families and shops opened by casual cultivators can't compete at all. In the end, they can only be incorporated obediently, engage in the middle and lower reaches of the industry, and eat some leftovers. Later, Wang Hao even wanted to integrate the 5 families to form a large business, so that there might be a chance to extend his power to King Niafang. But this matter is too difficult. Families, the alliance is also a simple alliance, and they can't be twisted into a rope, unless the Wang family has the ability far beyond the other 4 families. You just like to think too much. If you can crush your opponents like other protagonists, why do you have to worry about these things all day long? After shaking his head and packing up, Wang Hao went out. Today he made an appointment with Chui, the shopkeeper of the 4 Seas Merchant Alliance, to take the best alchemy furnace. His furnace was almost scrapped because of long-term alchemy. He had booked it a few days ago. Originally, Wang Hao still wanted to buy the best alchemy furnace from Xuanhuan, but unfortunately they didn't sell it. The 4 Seas Merchant Alliance puts profit first, and as long as they can afford the spirit stones, there is nothing they can't sell. This best alchemy furnace is only slightly better than the best alchemy furnace. It is the result of the failure of the second-level lower-grade alchemy furnace to be refined, and the refiner made a remedy. No one would use such high-value materials to refine the best alchemy furnace. The price is more than twice that of the best alchemy furnace. The alchemy furnace is much more expensive than the magic weapon of the same level. The price of the best alchemy furnace is often as high as the price of the lower-grade spirit weapon, and the price of the best alchemy furnace is as high as 1,000 spirit stones. Wang Hao is now also a celebrity in King Niafang. Many casual cultivators greeted him along the way. Wang Hao responded one by one, and in a moment, he arrived at the 4 Seas Merchant Alliance. Manager Wang, you are here. The shopkeeper is upstairs. Please come upstairs. As soon as he entered the door, the clerk of the 4 Seas Merchant Alliance came forward attentively. Wang Hao smiled and gestured, and went upstairs. The shopkeeper Chui Yuan was receiving other guests. Wang Hao waited for a while, and Chui Yuan came over after sending that person away. Brother Wang, I am sorry for the delay, please forgive me. No, Brother Chui, I just waited for a while. I wonder if the alchemy furnace I want has arrived. It has arrived, Brother Wang, wait a moment, I will go get it. After saying that, he turned and went to the inner room, and a moment later he came out with a palm-sized purple round alchemy furnace. Xuanhuan put the alchemy furnace on the table. Brother Wang, what do you think of this purple light furnace? Wang Hao picked up the alchemy furnace and injected mana into it. The purple light furnace immediately expanded in size to the size of a water tank, flew out of Wang Hao's palm, and landed steadily on the ground with a clang. There was a purple phoenix lying on the furnace, lifelike, and there were clouds of fire on the lid. Wang Hao lifted the lid again and carefully checked the inside. The purple inner wall was extremely smooth and not damaged. He nodded with satisfaction. Xuanhuan smiled and said, Brother Wang, this is made of the second-level spiritual material purple cloud stone. If it weren't for the poor skills of the refiner, it would at least be a second-level low-grade alchemy furnace. Good things are good things, but they are expensive, but fortunately Wang Hao can afford it. Thanks, Brother Chui, this alchemy furnace is good, I am very satisfied. Wang Hao then took out 500 spiritual stones to pay the balance. Xuanhuan accepted the spirit stone and said with a smile, Brother Xian, it's fine if you like it. I wonder how you have considered the proposal for my brother last time. He looked at Wang Hao with admiration. Brother Xian, nest in the little Qing dynasty. Niufang is too wasteful. As long as you join the Four Seas Merchant Alliance and my father's recommendation, Xiandi can at least be the shopkeeper of one place. With Xiandi's ability, it will be easy to double the income of the shops in one place. When the time comes, it will attract the attention of the top management. My dear brother, it's not difficult to get the foundation establishment pill. Wang understands Brother Chui's kindness, but I have no plans to leave Qingyafang for the time being. Wang Hao refused. After so many years, Wang Hao is full of resistance to the unknown. The resources of the Sihai Merchant Alliance are definitely better than those of the Wang family. There are many, even the Ning Yuan fruit is not that precious among others, but in the world of cultivating immortals, strength is valued after all. In the later stage of his qi training, he could at most become the shopkeeper of a small shop like Qingyafang. How good can a shop of this level be? As for making achievements and attracting attention, Wang Hao has no backer. There are many factions in this kind of business alliance. Will he give up his life if he fights with others? Hey, since Brother Xian has already decided, it's hard to say anything as a brother, but I still have to give some advice to Brother Xian. Xuanhuan showed a look of regret on his face. Brother Xian, with his qualifications, it may be difficult for him to practice qi to perfection. To get the foundation building pill from the family, it's really better to go out and try it. Wang Hao gave a salute. Big brother considers the little brother and will bear it in his heart. That's all. Xuanhuan waved his hand, but Brother Xian will change his mind in the future, and the door here will always be open for brother. Wang Hao said a few more words and then stood up to leave. After Wang Hao left, a woman in a yellow dress walked out of the room. Although she was wearing a veil, her graceful figure and clear eyes still made people look forward to her appearance. The woman in yellow opened her red lips lightly. Brother, is a 5-spirit-rooted monk worth your efforts to win over? This is not a simple 5-spirit-root monk. The sales of low-level elixirs in the store are now greatly reduced because of him. Xuanhuan did not see resentment in his eyes, but he was mostly appreciative, so he put Wang Hao and Wang Hao together. He talked about what he did in the year. If this person's business talents can be used by my Chui family, it may be possible for my father to take a further step. After listening to Xuanhuan's story, the woman in yellow nodded again and again. This person's idea is quite novel. If he can build a foundation, his future is limitless. It's a pity that he has a firm attitude and seems to have no intention of joining the Merchant Alliance. It doesn't matter, I will stay in Qingyafang City for a few more years, and there will be plenty of time to win over him. When he reaches the 9th level of qi training and it is difficult to improve his cultivation, I don't believe he can withstand the temptation of the foundation establishment pill. Chapter 33 Alchemy Spectrum. Wang Hao left the Sihai Merchant Alliance and walked slowly towards his store. However, after walking for a while, he always felt that someone was following him. With a thought in his mind, he turned into an alley. A young man of about 20 years old behind looked at Wang Hao's figure, hesitated for a moment, and then decided to catch up. Wang Hao did not hide, but waited at the end of the alley. "Follow me all the way, what do you want to do?" Wang Hao is not worried that he dares to harm himself. This is the center of Fang City, and the slightest movement can attract the attention of a group of people. The man looked timid, and in a panic, his cultivation level fluctuated from the 3rd level of Qi training to the 5th level of Qi training. Hidden cultivation method. Do you want to sell it? Wang Hao looked at the young man. "I will give you 300 spirit stones." The man breathed a sigh of relief, cupped his hands and said, "The rumors are indeed true, Manager Wang's bid is really generous." Seeing that there were still people walking around in the streets, Wang Hao said calmly, "You must have other things to do with Wang. If you believe me, you can come to Miaodong Pavilion to talk to me." "Believe, you can believe it. Then come on." Wang Hao led the young man to Miaodong Pavilion quickly, went upstairs to find an empty room, and turned on the soundproof array after entering, looking back at the young man. "Please sit down, can you talk now?" After the young man sat down, he took a sip of tea to suppress his panic. When Wang Hao saw this, he knew that this person must have gone out alone not long ago. How could a casual cultivator who has been wandering around the city all year round be so timid? Of course, it is also possible that he was just pretending, then your acting skills would be too good. "Steward Wang, I have a pill recipe, I don't know if Steward Wang will accept it." Wang Hao's many years of cultivation are almost overwhelming. Does he dare to sell the elixir spectrum? He raised his eyebrows and thought to himself, "This is my opportunity." So he nodded slightly. "Of course I'll accept it, but I have to check what kind of elixir it is first. After all, my Wang family has a lot of elixirs." "What's the price?" "Naturally, it only counts the elixirs that the Wang family doesn't have." "This." The young man hesitated for a moment. How could he sell something like Danfang after someone had seen it? But he also inquired about the credibility of the Wang family, and it was indeed well known. Wang Hao, in particular, was generous and deeply loved by the casual cultivators. When he saw Wang Hao today, he indeed had an extraordinary temperament, unlike those profiteers and bullies. This is also the past 2 years. If the young man had come here a few years ago, Wang Hao's reputation would probably scare him away. The young man still wanted to fight for it, and slowly said, "The Wang family probably doesn't have any. I came to the store a few days ago and saw that the only kind of pills your Wang family sells." "There is no basis for what you say. And just because some pills are not for sale, it doesn't mean there are no prescriptions. Wang Hao is not a fool." "Okay then." The young man took out an ancient book, gritted his teeth, and handed it to Wang Hao. "This is my family's ancestral elixir spectrum. There are more than 10 kinds of second-level elixir prescriptions. I only want 1,000 spirit stones." After speaking, he looked at Wang Hao with hope. Wang Hao opened the ancient book, and saw a lot of pill recipes. He only checked the authenticity of the known pill recipes, and quickly glanced at the table of contents before closing it again. He read all of this in front of the young man. "I will give you 2,000 spirit stones, and take this pill recipe and your method of hiding your cultivation. But you must also swear with your Tao heart that you will not sell the pill recipes on this pill recipe to other people in the Xuanhuan sect." The young man was happy at first when he heard the 2,000 spirit stones, but his face struggled again when he heard the conditions behind it. "My conditions are not harsh. I just forbid you to sell it again within the sphere of influence of Xuanhuan sect. If you go to other places, there will be no such restriction." Wang Hao sneered again, "If you want to sell the goods to several stores, I am not a fool. How about giving you 200 spirit stones?" 200, that's too little. Wang Hao sneered, "If the pill formula is all over the street, will it still be valuable? And you should know the principle of being guilty of possessing a treasure. With your cultivation level, the more pill formula you sell, the more likely you are to be killed for the treasure." The young man was also startled and woke up. He didn't dare to take action before because of this worry. Now that he is at his wit's end and Wang Hao has a good reputation, he wants to give it a try. So he nodded and agreed, okay, I'll sell it. But manager Wang also has to swear not to say that it's me who sells the recipe. Wang Hao smiled when he heard this. This guy is quite smart and very cunning. Okay, so the two supervised each other and swore. Then Wang Hao took out 2,000 spirit stones, and the young man handed the recipe and a jade slip to Wang Hao. Wang Hao immediately printed it on his forehead after taking the jade slip and checked it. Hidden spirit technique. It can change the breath, hide the cultivation, and when it is cultivated to perfection, it can be concealed from the detection of cultivators who are one realm higher than oneself. Okay, the money and goods are settled, and you can do whatever you want, fellow Taoist. The young man also wanted to leave early, so he stood up and said goodbye. Wang Hao returned to his room and calmed down before he began to check the recipe. This is definitely his biggest gain so far besides practicing the technique. The name is Xing's Alchemy Book, which contains a total of 25 recipes, including 13 first-level recipes and 12 second-level recipes. There is nothing much to say about the first-level recipes, most of which Wang Hao knows. Only two kinds of elixir surprised him. One is the Ju Shen Dan, which Wang Hao has never heard of. It can enhance the spiritual consciousness of the cultivator by 30%, but it is only effective for the first time. There is also a famous Yuling Dan, which is used to cultivate first-level spirit beasts. Wang Hao now has 2 spirit beasts. The golden-eyed duck eats well, but it took several years to advance to the first-level middle grade. Until now, it can't take Wang Hao to fly. It grows too slowly, but with the Yuling Dan, its growth rate will be greatly accelerated. Among the second-level recipes, there are 6 second-level low-grade, 3 middle-grade, and 3 high-grade. Section 19. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Among them, 3 elixir prescriptions, including the Qi Gathering Pill, are included in the Wang family. The Foundation Establishment Prescription, which is well known to everyone, is not considered precious. Yes, the Foundation Establishment Prescription is not precious. It cannot be said that everyone knows it, but it is not difficult for the larger forces to know. The most precious thing about the Foundation Establishment Pill is the main medicine. Whether it is the condensing yuan fruit or the third-level demon pill, ordinary forces cannot have it. Without the main medicine, there is only a pill recipe and a hammer to use. However, the refining experience in it is quite valuable. I think the ancestor of the Xing family is at least a second-level high-grade alchemist. Not to mention the elixir recipe, his refining experience is worth my money. Wang Hao's 2,000 souls stone is not lost. If this thing is put up for auction, its value will definitely double. There are a total of 8 more valuable ones left. There are 4 lower-grade second-level pills, namely, Barrier-Breaking Pill, Qi-Building Pill, Pulse-Protecting Pill, and Beast-Nurturing Pill. The Barrier-Breaking Pill is a pill that can help monks in the foundation building break through the mid-term bottleneck. There are bottlenecks in the Qi training period, and there are even more bottlenecks in the foundation building period. The bottleneck in the mid-term is one of the bigger bottlenecks. This pill can help the monks polish their true energy and increase their breakthroughs. Probability. The Qi Building Pill is a recovery pill used by foundation building monks. Even for late-stage monks, one pill can restore 20% of the true energy. Chapter 34 Bu Yuan Dan. The Pulse Protecting Pill is more precious. In addition to being used by foundation building monks when they break through bottlenecks, it can also be used by Qi training monks when they break through foundation building. It can increase the chance of building a foundation by 10%. Even if it fails, it can protect the heart veins and avoid death. The Beast Nurturing Pill is a pill used to cultivate spiritual beasts. It can help second-level monsters improve their cultivation and break through bottlenecks. There are 2 second-level middle-grade pills, one is the Burning Blood Pill and the other is the Qingyun Pill. The Burning Blood Pill is a pill that enhances the strength of a foundation establishment monk in a short period of time. The effect will vary depending on the cultivation level of the foundation establishment monk. For example, the strength can be doubled in the middle stage of the foundation establishment, and it can temporarily rival the later stage of the foundation establishment. But the price is that it will burn the monk's essence and blood, and the meridians and dantian will also be damaged to varying degrees. Therefore, it will take at least several years to cultivate after using it once. If the essence and blood is too much and is not replenished in time, the consequences will be more serious, and even let the monk pay the price with his life. Qingyun Dan is a detoxifying elixir in the foundation building stage, and there's not much to say about it. The top-grade elixirs are Ningxian Dan and Buyuan Dan. The concentrating pill has the same effect as the concentrating pill during the qi refining period. It has the effect of enhancing the consciousness of the foundation building monks. It can also be taken once. There are many benefits to having strong spiritual consciousness. Whether it is refining alchemy, refining weapons, or practicing fighting, spiritual consciousness will be used. For a simple example, when refining elixirs, one needs to use spiritual consciousness to control subtle changes in mana in order to achieve precise fine-tuning of the elixir. A slight difference can make a huge difference. When the spiritual consciousness is strong, it will naturally become much simpler. As you practice, your spiritual consciousness becomes stronger and you can better control the impact of spiritual power on the meridians. Especially when breaking through the bottleneck, the pressure on the spiritual power in the body is often very high. A wrong movement can cause the breakthrough to fail, or the foundation to be damaged. Therefore, the chance of building a foundation for those with strong spiritual consciousness will also increase. Wang Hao's 5 spirit roots have only a 20% chance of building a foundation, and taking a foundation building pill is only 50%. However, if it can enhance spiritual awareness, it can be added by half to 10%, and the ice muscle jade bone skill, and with the assistance of the pulse protecting pill, the probability is over 80%. Wang Hao felt that his foundation building was stable. As for the Buyuan Dan, it is even more precious. It is a holy healing medicine that can repair the dantian and meridians of the cultivator. If the cultivator uses the burning blood pill, resulting in a shortage of essence and blood and damage to the meridians, 1 yuan budan can make up for it. Its value can be imagined. The young man didn't lie. This elixir spectrum is very precious. Not to mention that the Wang family doesn't have it, even the Qingyuan sect doesn't have it. Generally speaking, a qi refining monk can at most become a second-level mid-level alchemist. It is almost impossible to break through to the second-level high-level alchemy master, because the second-level high-level elixirs are too complex and require strong spiritual control and stronger magic power. Qi training monks do not have these two things. Wang Hao now has over 50% of the first-order high-grade elixirs. He can already try to refine the second-order low-grade elixirs. However, it will take several years to succeed, so Wang Hao will not need these pill recipes in a short time. I don't need it, but Lao Wang should. He was a second-level low-level alchemist in the early years. Now he has been building the foundation for several years, and he should not be far away from being a second-level mid-level alchemist. With this pill spectrum, he can compete for the Wang family's next foundation building pill. So Wang Hao made a copy of the elixir manual, but the spirit-nurturing pills and beast-nurturing pills were not copied. This was not because he was stingy, but because the Wang family did not raise a few spirit beasts, so it was useless to ask for them, and they were not wealthy enough to use them. The elixir is for raising spiritual beasts. Secondly, if Wang Hao hands over all of them, his effectiveness will be greatly reduced. It is not as cost-effective as giving the Wang family a bottle of finished elixir from time to time. Wang Hao went to Wang Yanzhao's residence and saw that he was refining elixirs in the house. He walked directly in without knocking on the door. Wang Yanzhao glared at him angrily and continued to concentrate on refining elixirs. For a moment, the fragrance of elixirs overflowed. Wang Yanzhao cleaned it up and said, "Why did you come to me in such a hurry? I almost ruined a furnace of elixirs." "Isn't it just a furnace of qi-gathering pills? It's only worth a few bucks," he said and threw the burned pill manual over. "Look at this. I bought it for 3,000 spirit stones. Remember to return it to me. As a middleman, there is no reason not to make a profit from the price difference. Wang Hao doesn't feel guilty at all. Just like this, the Wang family won't agree unless they give him thousands of contribution points. 3,000 spirit stones, you loser, pill recipe. After browsing for a moment, Wang Yanzhao couldn't help but look excited, and his body began to sway. Wang Hao almost suspected that he had a cerebral infarction. I said, Lao Wang, are you okay? Just a few prescriptions. It's like you've never seen the world. Wang Yanzhao had no time to argue with him. He kept reading the alchemy book attentively, muttering, so that's it. Ha ha ha, I can definitely break through to the second-level mid-level alchemist this time. Yeah, people are going crazy. After half an hour, Wang Yanzhao returned to normal and sat on the chair, but he still rubbed the pill book in his hand from time to time. I said, Lao Wang, don't worry. I'll let you touch it later. Now that I've given it to you, can I still take it from you? Wang Hao sat with his legs crossed, holding a cup of tea in his hand. Lien, remember to give me a bottle after taking out the pulse-protecting pill. Wang Yanzhao's eyes looked at Wang Hao much softer. Even though Wang Hao was drinking the spiritual tea he had finally obtained, his voice still trembled when he spoke. This elixir is the hope for the rise of my Wang family. It is of immeasurable value, but it only costs 3,000 spiritual stones. I can't give it to you now. The fewer people who know about it, the better. It can't be taken away from the store's account. I'll make a decision after I go back to the mountain and report it to the owner. Wang Hao didn't know that the current head of the family, Wang Guang'an, had damaged his dantian and meridians and was unable to do anything anymore, and his lifespan had been affected. Otherwise, he would have understood Wang Yanzhao, with the Bu and Dan. Even if Wang Guang'an cannot regain his strength in the late foundation building stage in his heyday, he can at least take action, right? Hundreds of monks from the Wang family are now crowded in Wangjiling, and they have long wanted to expand abroad. Once Wang Guang'an recovers, the strength of the Wang family will be greatly increased, and the chance of successful expansion will also be greatly increased. This is a major event that affects the fate of the Wang family. No wonder Wang Yanzhao is so excited. By the way, where is the person selling the prescription? I didn't know that if money and goods are cleared, people can go wherever they like. Wang Yanzhao suddenly lost his composure. I'm confused, the elixir spectrum is so important. If the news is leaked, my Wang family will be completely destroyed. Wang Hao signaled him to be calm. I have taken this into consideration, and we have made a sincere oath to each other to never reveal the elixir transaction to anyone. Wang Yanzhao was relieved and ordered, I will go back to Wangjiling to report to the owner of the family later. You should stay in Fengshe and don't go anywhere. In addition, let the shop start collecting elixirs related to Bu and Dan, but collect them quietly. No fanfare. Buy Yuan pill. I've written it down. Wang Hao nodded. In fact, what Wang Hao wants most now is the God-gathering pill and the spirit-nurturing pill. Fortunately, the spirit-nursing pill has Wang Hao's elixir seeds, which can be used to gather God. Dan Cha is blind to the three-leaf condensation grass. It is very rare, so you can only look for it slowly. There is no conflict, just upload it to the commission line in batches. Chapter 35 Refining the Spirit-Nurturing Pill, Wangjiling. In a secret room at the top, 3 foundation builders of the Wang family were sitting cross-legged. The leader, an old man, slowly put down the book in his hand, stroked his beard and smiled. Ha ha ha, God bless my Wang family, that this old man is Wang Guang'an, the head of the Wang family. Wang Guang'an looked at Wang Yanzhao attentively. You have given birth to a good son. It's a pity that because of that incident in the early years, the family owes him a lot. Wang Longyu on the side said, Uncle, I know this kid Wen Hao. Not only is he a hard-working person, he is also very good at business. The most important thing is that he is well known and has no resentment towards the family. Well, he is a good boy. Wang Guang'an nodded. With this great skill, I have the final say. If he can reach the 9th level of Qi training, the next time the family gets the foundation establishment pill, it can be exchanged for him first. Wang Yanzhao was overjoyed and quickly saluted. Thank you, ancestor. Get up and speak. Wang Guanan stretched out his hand to help him up. Any merit must be rewarded. This is the rule of my Wang family. What do you want to thank me for? On the contrary, I should thank Wang Hao. If he hadn't obtained this elixir, I would still be here. This mountaintop sat withered until it turned into a pile of loess. But he seemed to have thought of something else, and his expression dimmed a bit. It's a pity that Jiziko, the main medicine of Buyuan Dan, is not easy to find. Alas, time is also fate. Wang Longyu said, Uncle, there is no need to lament. The Duanyuan mountains are rich in products. As long as you spend some time, you might be able to find them. Even if there is none in Qingyefang, there will be a big auction in Qingyuanfang City in a year and a half. My grandnephew will take a look for himself. Wang Yanzhao disagreed, it's inappropriate. Although my ancestor is the head of the family, in recent years, my sixth uncle has been taking care of the family affairs. Going out rashly will inevitably attract the attention of others. It is no secret that my Wang family's spiritual lineage is overwhelmed, and the superficial peace of the 5 major families is nothing more than in order to jointly resist the monsters, but no one wants to let one family dominate. The 3 of them were silent for a while, and Wang Guanan said in a deep voice, Yan Zhao is right. You can't move lightly, so let Yan Zhao go. Just use the excuse of buying a second-level alchemy furnace. My child also wants to take Wang Hao with him. This kid has never been out of Qingyefang, so he might as well go and experience it. He will have some experience. Wang Guanan nodded, okay. He chuckled twice again. Wang Hao is very lucky. If he goes, he might really be able to buy Jiziko. After Wang Yanzhao left, Wang Hao began to practice the hidden spirit technique. This method is quite exquisite. He had practiced exercises and spells in the past. Even if he was slow to get started, he would not be unable to understand the true meaning. However, this hidden spirit technique is extremely obscure. It seemed that it was not an ordinary text, but translated from some foreign language. After studying it for more than a month, Wang Hao was able to perform it simply, but the slightest confusion would break the skill. At this moment, he knew why the young man was in fear. Flaws are revealed below. Fortunately, I have succeeded in enlightenment. As long as I practice diligently in the future, I will definitely not be easily seen through. Wang Hao thought in his heart and recited a few mantras. The magic power in his body began to converge. In an instant, his spiritual power fluctuations were suppressed. He was bound to the 5th level of Qi training, and after reciting the mantra, he became the 3rd level of Qi training. Nodding with satisfaction, he picked up the pill book again and started studying it. 2 months later, Wang Hao finished eating it and prepared to refine the spirit-nurturing pill. With a clap of his palm, a purple pill furnace flew out. The purple pill furnace swelled in the wind and fell steadily to the ground. The secret was used to ignite the spiritual carbon, and the temperature gradually became hotter. The elixir was gradually put in as required, and half a day later, a furnace of mixed orange elixir liquid was completed. Although this was his first time refining the spirit-nurturing pill, Wang Hao had already known the steps by heart. Seeing that the quantity of the elixir was sufficient, he was not conservative and divided the elixir into 7 parts. He actually wanted to refine 7 spirit-nurturing pills at once. Slowly simmering over a slow fire, observing subtle changes with spiritual consciousness, just like this, after another hour, the elixir gradually evaporated, and Wang Hao, who was sitting in front of the elixir furnace, showed a solemn look. Now that the essence of the elixir has been refined, it has arrived. The critical moment when liquid condenses into elixir. Ancestor Xing's notes are better than Lao Wang's. My alchemy skills have improved a lot. Wang Hao smiled slightly and whispered, urging the alchemy technique to condense the elixir. As the alchemy furnace trembled, one of the 7 elixir liquids suddenly trembled sharply. Wang Hao's control did not work, so he had no choice but to control the elixir liquid. Stay away from the other 6 groups and get close to the wall of the alchemy furnace to evaporate them, he ignored his heartache and concentrated on condensing the liquid into elixirs. Finally, as a burst of elixir fragrance came out, the remaining 6 groups of elixirs were condensed into elixirs. Wang Hao raised his hands to open the lid of the alchemy furnace, stretched out his hand, and 6 crystal-clear elixirs flew out. With a 60% elixir success rate, I can try to break through the second-level alchemy master. Wang Hao nodded with satisfaction. As for the destroyed elixir liquid, this often happens in alchemy. There is nothing to say. It is nothing more than divine consciousness. The control is not enough. If his consciousness can be strengthened, this situation will naturally not happen. Even 8 pills are not a big problem. This is not Wang Hao's boasting, but as his alchemy skills have strengthened, he has gained a clear self-awareness. I just don't know if there is any news about the 3-leaf condensing god grass. If I can take the god condensing pill, it will be much easier for me to break through. Wang Hao said lightly to himself, packed up, and walked towards the Miaodong pavilion. 5th brother, why are you free today? After more than a year of experience, Wang Wenyan has become elegant, and her appearance is beautiful, and she has gradually gained the title of Fairy Yan in the city. I can't come yet. On the contrary, Fairy Yan, why are you free today? Wang Hao deliberately looked behind her and joked, why isn't that fellow Taoist Jew here? 5th brother, why are you teasing others like Wen Mei? Wang Wenyan blushed immediately. She is beautiful and has a good personality. She is pursuing many casual cultivators. Among them, Wang Hao, a casual cultivator named Zhu, is more optimistic. Of course, if you want to embrace a beautiful woman, you must marry into the Wang family. Okay, let's get down to business. Has anyone taken over the commission of the 3-leaf condensing god grass? Wang Hao asked with a change of expression. Wang Wenyan thought about it and said, 3 teams of people have taken over, but there is no news so far. Oh, by the way, a casual cultivator at the 6th level of Qi training brought a 5-year-old 3-leaf condensing grass. The year was quite different, so I made the decision and gave him 10 spiritual stones to accept it. 5 years? That's too different. It must be at least 50 years. Wang Hao remained calm on the surface, but secretly rejoiced in his heart. First hand over the 5-year-old clover to me. As for the entrustment, increased the spiritual stone by 5 pieces. Wang Wenyan went to the counter and took out a jade box and handed it to Wang Hao. Wang Hao opened it and saw that it was indeed a blue concentrating grass with only 3 young leaves. Seeing that there was still a small section of root system, Wang Hao smiled with satisfaction. Fairy Yan, continue to be busy. 5th brother is going back first. A piece of black land has been reclaimed on the farm, and the time flow rate has reached 40 times. Now that he has the seeds, Wang Hao only needs to wait a little more than a year to produce the God-gathering pill. Chapter 36 The Surge of Spiritual Consciousness. It's a pity that you can only eat 1 piece of this stuff, and it will have no effect if you eat it later. It is really a waste to plant an acre. It would be best if you can buy it ready-made. But how can everything go as expected? When Wang Hao returned to his residence, he realized that he had been too preoccupied with the spirit-gathering pill and had not yet given it to Yaya and Xiao Bai. Yaya is the golden-eyed duck, and Xiao Bai is naturally the ice-eyed white tiger. As soon as Wang Hao patted the spirit beast bag, a duck that was larger than Wang Hao's golden eyes appeared in front of him. When he saw Wang Hao, he said quack. Don't panic, let Xiao Bai out first. He said and controlled another spirit beast bag to open and reveal the ice-eyed white tiger. Xiao Bai is a few years younger than Yaya, but he has grown very quickly. Now he is almost as tall as Wang Hao's shoulders. And observing its aura, it will soon reach the 1st level mid-level. Ouch! The cute white tiger roared as soon as it came out, but what greeted it was the white eyes of the golden-eyed duck. It seems like you are looking at a mentally retarded person. Section 20. You are listening at MaleProtagonist. Sure enough, they are spiritual beasts that can grow to the 3rd level, Wang Hao praised, took out 2 spiritual nourishing pills and fed them to them respectively. Yaya is still one section away from the top grade of the first level. A spiritual nourishing pill cannot make her break through. On the contrary, Xiao Bai becomes drowsy after taking the pill. This is a sign of breakthrough. Wang Hao collects it. Spirit beast bag. As for Yaya, she can play in the yard for a while. Spirit beasts have higher IQs than ordinary animals, and since Wang Hao has raised them since childhood, Yaya is also very close to the Wang family and will not cause trouble. In this way, Wang Hao was practicing, refining his body, and occasionally refining elixirs. More than a year of boring days passed. There is still no news about the 3-leaf concentrating god herb from the commissioning bank. Wang Hao has withdrawn the commission. The ones on his farm are all mature and still have hair. Because the concentrating god pill is too complicated, he only made 4 at a time. The elixir is far lower than his average 60% elixir success rate. Over the past year, he has tried to refine the qi gathering pill several times, but all ended in failure. However, he is not discouraged. He has already reached the stage of completing the pill. He believes that after refining the god-gathering pill, he can succeed after a few attempts. Lao Wang became a second-level low-level alchemist after reaching the 9th level of qi refining. It's a pity that Lao Wang came and told him that he had to go to Xuanhuan City. Naturally, the day of breakthrough could only be postponed. Are you ready? What are you ready for, Lao Wang? You won't hack my 3,000 spirit stones, will you? Hearing this, Wang Yanzhao twitched. Although this son was said to be a talented person, good at practicing martial arts and doing business, his mouth was still as irritating as before. He threw out a storage bag casually. Here you go, I just happened to go to Xuanhuan City this time to buy some good things. Wang Hao chuckled twice and took the storage bag. After checking it, in addition to the 3,000 spiritual stones, there were many good things, some spells collected by the Wang family, and 2 second-level spiritual talismans. Wang Yanzhao explained, you are now a monk in the late stage of qi training, and you still use the fireball technique to support the scene. This third transformation of the essence fire can control the flames to transform into various shapes to attack. It can be used even in the foundation building stage. You practice more, and the other 2 second order the spiritual talisman is given by the ancestor to protect you. Wang Hao thanked him with satisfaction. Wang Yanzhao said no more. He took out a red flying sword and took Wang Hao to fly into the sky. The flying speed of the foundation building monk's sword could reach 3,000 miles per hour. With Wang Yanzhao's foundation building second floor his magic power can fly for 3 hours. But Qingyafang is hundreds of thousands of miles away from Xuanhuan City. Wang Yanzhao was reluctant to use elixirs to restore his magic power, so he could only meditate slowly. The 2 of them drove for more than 10 days to reach Xuanhuan City. Fengshe. Xuanhuan City is much larger than Qingyafang. In terms of area alone, it is at least 10 times larger. It has a permanent population of more than 100,000. This is a permanent population. Qingyafang also attracts a large number of monks during the auction of foundation establishment pills. Reaching 50,000, there are usually less than 10,000 people in the city, and most of them still work hard in Xuanhuan Mountain and settle down temporarily. There are 2 third-order spiritual veins and several second-order spiritual veins in Xuanhuan City. They were moved here by the Qingyuan sect using formations to support the cultivation of so many people. The Wang family has a grocery store in Qingyafang, but the business is miserable. It is difficult to pay the rent with the few spiritual stones earned. If the Wang family didn't need a place to stay, it would have closed long ago. The manager of the store is Wang Yanzhue, who ranks 10th. As soon as they met, he took Wang Hao's hand and said, I guess this is Wang Hao, the Qilin son of my Wang family, right? You have to give your 10th uncle some advice. The 10th uncle also the requirements are not too high, as long as the store can make ends meet and no longer ask for money from the family. Wang Yanji needs the family to provide spiritual stones to pay rent every year, so he is too embarrassed to go back to Wangjiling. Seeing Wang Hao is like seeing a savior. Wang Yanzhao spoke up to rescue Wang Hao, 10th brother, everyone knows about the store. It is difficult for a clever woman to make a living without rice. How can she run a good business without a large amount of goods? The family has never blamed you. Hey! Wang Yanzhi sighed, I know that's the case, but looking at the streets with people coming and going, and then looking at the desolate shops, I'm really ashamed, that with such a large flow of people, if it was managed well, it would never be like this. Wang Hao thought for a while and said, Uncle Ten, why don't we come now? 2 alchemists are here. How can we still have no goods? Is there any ready-made elixir in the store? Hurry and get it. Yes, Wang Yanzhi hurriedly agreed, I purchased a batch a few days ago. Although the quantity is not large, it can be used to refine several furnaces of elixirs. Wang Yanzhao thought that the auction would take another 2 months, and he was idle, so he said, 10th brother can spread the news and buy more elixirs. I have to stay here for 2 months. Wang Yanzhi was overjoyed, and his chest clapped loudly, no problem, I will inform the familiar herb collection team later. You guys rest first while I go get the elixir. That there were not many elixirs, so Wang Yanzhao took them all by himself, saying that he wanted Wang Hao to spend his time practicing spells. Wang Hao was naturally happy and free, but he did not rush to practice the 3 transformations of Jinghua, but took out the God-gathering pill. As your spiritual consciousness becomes stronger, practicing spells will become more efficient, and the order cannot be reversed. The God-gathering pill was dark, so Wang Hao put it directly into his mouth. As the pill melted in his belly, Wang Hao did not feel the power of the medicine flowing into his dantian, but into the sea of consciousness. There was a numbing feeling at first, and then it gradually stung, but at the same time, the cloud in the sea of consciousness also slowly grew stronger under the nourishment of the medicinal power. This process is very long, at least that's what Wang Hao thinks. Of course, it could also be that his consciousness is swelling and painful, causing his sense of time to be confused. When the pain ended, Wang Hao found that the cloud in his sea of consciousness had expanded by at least 1/3. His original detection distance of his consciousness was only 30 feet, but now, it reached a little more than 40 feet. Wang Hao took out the fierce wind sword and found that the control range had indeed reached 40 meters. Of course, he could make the sword fly out of this distance, but he couldn't reach it when he took it back. Chapter 37, Cultivator Gathering, the same is true for the talisman. Wang Hao can now detonate it within a range of 40 meters. The increase in distance means an increase in the attack range, and the benefits are self-evident. Wang Hao was itching to taste the benefits of the expansion of his spiritual consciousness for the first time, thinking that it would be great if he had Han Lao Mo's Great Evolution Ju. The next day, Wang Hao took over Wang Yan's store. In fact, there was nothing to do. Even if there were pills on the shelves, they were not famous and people didn't trust them, so few people came. There were only 2 casual cultivators in half a day, and they were the kind who were very poor. They asked for a long time but didn't buy anything. Wang Hao was too lazy to serve them. After waiting for a while, just as Wang Hao saw the sun setting and was about to close the shop, 2 men and women in white robes from the Xuanhuan sect walked in. They looked young, only in their 20s. Wang Hao thought that the Xuanhuan sect had abundant products, and disciples inside the sect had better deals than those outside. These 2 people were not here to buy elixirs. But since they had entered the door, he naturally had to receive them. 2 Taoist friends, what do you need? The man looked at the simple shop, scanned the shelves, with a look of disappointment on his face, and had a faint sign of turning around and leaving. The woman sniffed and looked at Wang Hao. Are you an alchemist? Wang Hao was stunned, and felt that there was nothing to hide, so he admitted, I am Wang Hao, the alchemist of this shop. I am Chen Qing from the Xuanhuan sect. I am Chu He from the Xuanhuan sect. Hearing that Wang Hao was an alchemist, the man also became a little warmer. May I ask, fellow Taoist Wang, if there is any elixir for healing soul injuries? I can buy it at a high price. Chen Qing asked tentatively. She actually had no hope. Wang Hao narrowed his eyes. Since the Ju Shen Dan can strengthen the consciousness, it should be helpful for the soul injury, but he was not familiar with these two people, and it would not be a good thing to leak it rashly, so he shook his head and refused. I am just an alchemist from a small family. I can only refine some common elixirs. I have never heard of elixirs for healing soul injuries. Junior sister Chen, forget it, let's go to other shops to look for it. If we still can't find it, I will help you get a Yun Shindan at the auction even if I sell everything I have. Chen Qing's face was gloomy. Yun Shindan is an elixir taken in the foundation building period. For me, the medicinal power is too strong, and the price is not something we chi refining cultivators can afford. Wang Hao thought to himself, is this woman's soul damaged? Ju Shindan cannot be sold. This kind of elixir that can strengthen the consciousness is enough to make some people take risks. Wang Hao doesn't want people to kill people for treasures, but the 3-leaf concentration grass can be sold. Although this thing is not common, it does occasionally flow in, so he said, this fairy Chen, I have purchased a 3-leaf concentration grass, which should be of some help to the fairy. Then he handed over a jade box. Chen Qing's eyes lit up. He took the jade box, opened it, took a deep breath, felt it, and opened his eyes in surprise. It works, thank you, fellow Taoist Wang, I want this 3-leaf concentrating spirit grass. How many spirit stones do you need? Wang Hao said with a smile, it is fate that I have the honor to make friends with 2 Taoists from Xuanhuan sect today. I bought this concentrating spirit grass for 40 spirit stones. Fairy Chen, just pay me the original price. Just treat it as making friends. How can I let fellow Taoist Wang work in vain? Please accept these 50 spirit stones. Since Wang said the original price, I will only accept 40 spirit stones. Do you two look down on me and don't want to recognize this friend? No, we were also casual cultivators before, how can we look down on Brother Wang? Since Brother Wang is kind, I will accept it. If Brother Wang has any problems in the future, I will definitely help. Chen Qing bowed solemnly. Brother Wang is a generous person, and I, Chu He, also recognize this friend. It's a little late today, and my junior sister needs to heal her wounds as soon as possible. I will invite Brother Wang to drink another day. Oh, I'm new to Qingyuanfang, and I just want to learn about the market situation, so I'm waiting for Brother Chu's drink. Of course, Brother Wang, we'll take our leave first. Chu He bowed and said goodbye. Goodbye. Wang Hao stood up to see them off. After seeing the two off, Wang Hao closed the door of the shop. Making friends with 2 Qingyuan disciples was just a casual way to expand his network, and there was no purpose. But he didn't expect that this casual action would bring him a big surprise. Just 3 days later, the two found Wang Hao. Chu He clasped his hands together and said, Brother Wang, there is a party at Dengxian Tower today. I would like to borrow your flowers to offer to the Buddha. I wonder if Brother Wang is interested. Of course I am interested in the party. I am new here and I want to make some Taoist friends, Wang Hao said with a happy face, then I would like to trouble you two to introduce me. No, we also want to participate. It is just a piece of cake to bring Brother Wang with us. Chen Qing smiled and said, the party is about to start. Let's go there quickly. Dengxian Tower is a relatively large restaurant in Qingyuanfang City. It is also a place for cultivators to make friends with fellow cultivators and get information. However, the price here is a bit expensive. A casual cultivator without a certain amount of wealth can't even enter the door. On the second floor, more than 20 cultivators gathered. Judging from the robes they were wearing, most of them were disciples of Qingyuan sect. There were more than 30,000 disciples of Qingyuan sect, and not many of them knew each other. Therefore, these restaurant gatherings became the norm to make connections within the sect. Among wealth, friends, dharma and land, friend comes in the second place. This friend does not only refer to a fellow practitioner, but also friends, relatives, and fellow practitioners who can give guidance. Of course, there were also family members and some independent cultivators. Judging from their clothes and conversation, they were not kind people. When Wang Hao and the other two arrived, everyone introduced themselves to each other. Their attitudes were very friendly. but not too warm. Wang Hao looked at their cultivation and found that he was the lowest among them. They were all cultivators in the late stage of qi training. Some of them had reached the peak of qi training, but there was no one in the middle stage of qi training. Fellow Daoist Song, didn't you say that there would be inner sect brothers from Xuanhuan sect to participate? Why haven't they come yet? Asked an independent cultivator named Yifeng. Song Yun, who was wearing the Xuanhuan sect robe, shook his head. Senior brother Sun and the others may have something to do. I don't know much about it. But senior brother Sun is the grandson of elder Sun, a key training target in the sect, and has a great reputation. Since he agreed to participate, he will not break the appointment. After hearing this, everyone looked envious. The key training target of Xuanhuan sect also has a Jindan grandfather. With such a background, they can't compare to him even if they add up. Junior brother Song, you are embarrassing me. A cheerful voice came at this time, and a young man in a white shirt walked upstairs a moment later. However, there were blue stripes on his white shirt, which was the difference between the inner and outer disciples of Xuanhuan sect. Wang Hao also glanced at him. This man was tall, handsome, and had a good appearance. The jade pendant hanging around his waist was obviously not an ordinary one, and he also showed off with a folding fan. Chapter 38 Insect Eggs. Song Yun and other disciples of Xuanhuan sect hurriedly stood up to greet him. Hello, senior brother Sun. We have met Taoist fellow Sun. The others also stood up to greet him. I am Sun Jixuan, and I have met all Taoists. Sun Jixuan returned the greeting politely. His tone was gentle, unlike those who looked down on others because of their status, which made Wang Hao look at him with a higher opinion. After Sun Jixuan sat down, everyone surrounded him. For cultivators, the main thing they communicated was their cultivation experience, and Sun Jixuan obviously knew more than them. With his status, it was not surprising that he was more popular. However, Sun Jixuan did not avoid others. He spoke neither slowly nor hurriedly, and everyone could hear him clearly. Especially about the method of resolving bottlenecks, Wang Hao compared it with his past and gained something. In addition to cultivation, everyone also talked about the 100 arts of cultivation. Among them, the most talked about were still alchemy and talisman making. One talisman master danced and demonstrated in public when he talked about his pride. Wang Hao observed the whole process and gained a lot. He had only achieved entry in a few years. Now he has received guidance and practiced diligently. He felt that it was not difficult to advance to a mid-grade talisman master. So he didn't hide it and talked about some of his alchemy experience. Seeing that he was actually a first-class alchemist, everyone was very warm to him. After a while, the last talisman maker finished speaking, and Sun Jixuan said, Today, there are so many elites gathered here, especially so many fellow alchemists, talismans and tools. Why don't we hold a small trade fair? What do you think? Brother Sun is right, I agree. I agree too,